Hello Internet, welcome back to the Fast Travel Lounge. You're listening to episode 24. I am Patrick, I am joined by Seth and Josh. What's that? No Steve this week. Say hi everyone.
Hey everyone.
What does Steven usually say? Hey.
I think he normally says hi everyone. Like
Hi
I tell
everyone,
him
he does
to.
say hi everyone. Hi everyone.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, thank you Steve/Josh. A riddle for you two. What has 6 thumbs and can't talk about The Last of Us Part 2?
Us for the past 5 weeks.
Yep, well it's gonna be 6. Unfortunately,
Holy shit, I was not expecting that.
no matter how much I've been hyping up that we will get to it next week, unfortunately it has to be another week because of the very foreseen circumstances that has prevented Steve from joining us. Just because I think the discussion will actually be better if Steve's here, because I feel like we're going to have a bit of dissension with opinions, and that'll just make for more interesting content. Otherwise, we're going to have to tell Josh why he's wrong, and it'll be 2 against 1, but I think 3 against 1 is just more entertaining.
He really decided that football was more important than us tonight.
He did. Don't know why. We'll have to figure it out later.
In the spirit of Steven, I'm going to periodically read out puns from The Last of Us.
Please don't.
That we can do.
I will censor all of them.
Wait, were you actually going to? Did you
I can, if you guys... yeah, okay.
No,
Well,
definitely not. It was just an awkward silence. I wasn't sure if you were going to continue. No, we're definitely not allowing that.
What did the...
I thought you said these were Last of Us puns.
They are. Well, they're The Last of Us jokes like in the book that she finds.
Oh. That doesn't make it any better. Please stop. I guess I have to ask the obligatory question. Has anyone's tech broken this week? The answer from me is always a no.
I have to think about it for a second. No, nothing this week.
If you have to think about it, you probably didn't have to take it to a repair store. Josh, anything from you?
No, everything's functional, so thanks for cursing me.
Cool. Great. Can't wait to ask you if your refrigerator is running next week. That does mean that we get to move to the fallback Krispy Kreme sponsorship section of Josh's album of the week. Josh,
Hold on. Speaking of,
damn it.
Speaking of Krispy Kreme, what? I would like to just remind everyone about that Donut King PlayStation deal that was going on, which both me and Josh missed out of.
It does not sound like Krispy Kreme.
It does not, but I just wanted to let everyone know that advertisements for that have started up again, which means they're probably in stock now, and now I got to go try and find them.
So, fun fact, I went down to, I was in 2 separate Donut King locations recently because of, like, doctors and whatnot. So, it was, and both of them were not selling those donuts, they weren't even open. They apparently haven't been open for weeks. So, I don't think they're doing too well, old Donut King. We're putting them out of business.
Finally. Someone speaking up about the Donut King regime that we're slowly bringing down with the introduction of Krispy Kreme. Anyway, Josh, your album for this week, what is it?
Yes, so I don't think Seth's listened to it, and I'm not sure about you, Patrick, but I decided to pick a very popular album that was a different genre, and I'll probably continue doing so. I picked Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. Have you guys listened to it, or?
Absolutely not. I probably heard Kendrick Lamar here and there, but he's not someone I go and listen to on my own.
Kind of similar boat for me. There's probably a few songs on there that I've heard, but I haven't listened to the album. Okay,
well, it's a pretty good album. I've listened to it through a couple of times, but there's a few sort of standout songs. Some quick little fact notes I found on there. It sold 324,000 copies in the US alone within its first week of release, and debuted at number 1 on the US Billboard 200. And then it released on the 15th of March 2015. And in 2020, it was added to Rolling Stone's top 500 greatest albums of all times at rank 19. And
wow,
just on Kendrick Lamar, Seth would definitely know at least some songs because he also, I don't understand if it was produced or if he just had a major part in it, but he did a lot of the stuff for the Black Panther soundtrack as well.
Yes, he did. Yeah. That I did know.
It was excellent.
Yep.
Yeah. Album of the week.
Cool. Speaking of music, I was at a team lunch today for work, and I need to ask: Does anyone else like if they hear a song or even like a cover of a song that their brain just gets stuck trying to figure out what that song is? You know, like
yes,
you're trying to beat Shazam. You know what I mean? You're trying to go for that high score Billboard just so you can put ass at number 1.
So I'm going to interrupt kind of there. I still actively play Hurdle, which is like a Wordle equivalent that plays like the start of a song, and you have to guess what the song is. So yes, I absolutely have that problem.
I've been playing the
Africa
Kingdom
by
Hearts
Toto?
variant of it, and today's one really fucks me up because I knew the song on the first hint, but I was like, no, I need to listen to it a little bit more just to make sure that I've got it right, instead of going for the guess like a dumbass. And the second hint, absolutely knew what the song was, put it in, and I got it correct. I was like, really should have gone for the one hit win on that.
Absolutely.
Wait, sorry, guys. Hold up for a sec. What's that, Steve? Patrick should go back to his story. Oh, well, I mean, while seeing as he suggested it. So I was at a team lunch today, and I heard a cover of "Instant Crush" by Daft Punk. But the problem was, I'd already started regaling a story to the rest of the team, and so they kept wondering why I was interrupted. And I'm pretty sure it was because my brain was just stuck trying to figure out what the song was by Daft Punk. And what was funny was one of the people there is actually a massive Daft Punk fan, but doesn't know Random Access Memories as well as the earlier stuff. Unfortunately, it devolved into someone else from the team telling a story, and then I just blurted out, "It's Instant Crush," and they went, "What are you talking about?" And it was like, "Oh, that the cover of that song that was playing like 5 minutes ago." I resisted the urge to look it up, and I was right. Very proud moment for me. That's the only thing that I had really to contribute to the song section, but I thought it was kind of topical, kind of fun.
But
Right.
Patrick,
so,
what does Daft Punk have to do with Kendrick Lamar?
well, I was going to ask what Kendrick Lamar has to do with Krispy Kreme, so I guess we're all just like lost wondering random thoughts today, aren't we? Anyway.
Steve's asking me if you guys know.
Yeah, fucking... Didn't matter how prepared I was for that. I'm still disappointed.
Patrick, I'm just choosing not to acknowledge it.
Finally, thank you for being so brave in this moment.
The longer the silence goes, the less inclined he'll be to interrupt us for it later.
See, the thing is that both Steven and I, when we tell these bad jokes, the longer the silence, the more we feed off it.
I do enjoy that for the 1 week that Steve isn't here, he decided, I'm going to haunt the one person that I disagree with most on the podcast, which I guess is fitting in a way. But thank you, Josh, for carrying the spirit of Steve, even though neither Seth nor I really asked you to and begged you to stop before we started recording. So, on to Round the Lounge for this week. Seth, what have you been up to?
I got a couple of topics I could talk about. I've been watching a lot of Stranger Things lately to get ready for Season 4, and I finished Season 2 recently. I just finished Moon Knight today, and I've been playing a little bit more Far Cry 6, and I got a lot to bitch about Ubisoft with that game.
Can't wait, I guess. Josh, what have you been up to?
Well, most of what I've done is play The Last of Us Part 2 that we can't really talk about, so listen next week. I played a couple of hours of Uncharted 2, and that's about it. Last of Us 2 was a lot longer than I had expected. What about you, Patrick?
Can't wait to not talk about that. Seth, have you not finished Ace Attorney 3?
No, not yet. I've been so busy with other things, I haven't had the chance to go and to read through that. I plan on finishing that soon. Once I finish the editing backlog that I have, I will get back onto that.
Once we talk about The Last of Us TM. The Last of Us Part 2 TM, rather.
Exactly. It's got to be the same week that we have the Last of Us 2 topic, because then the Ace Attorney topic gets overshadowed by it. We've
been just drawing out the audience with bated breath for the last 4 episodes. But you know what? Fuck it. Make it a 5th one. That's fine. What have I been up to? I've played Monster Hunter Rise. Actually, getting ready for Sunbreak. But we've already covered Rise quite a bit in previous episodes. Go back, listen to those. So if we need something else to talk about, I will probably discuss my little foray, if you will, into mini motorways. But that will be held in reserve because we might not even need it. So, quick round the lunch for this week. We don't have Steve to make a shitty pun. Why don't we go straight into Moon Knight? So I know very little about Moon Knight other than it being in the Marvel universe.
Yep. I know very little about Moon Knight outside of the series. The most I've seen of Moon Knight is out of context panels that have been edited, which made Moon Knight look like a much funnier character than he actually is. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff about Moon Knight wanting to get money off Dracula, or calling the Avengers, trying to figure out where Dracula is so he can go get his money. Or as he's throwing his weapons, he's just yelling random bullshit "go" instead of like any sort of catchphrase. So those are fun edits that unfortunately don't translate to what Moon Knight actually is.
But isn't every...
You know what? It's not worth it. Thank you for listening to episode 24, everyone. We promise we'll come back stronger next week.
The funny part is that was actually a Steve joke because he wrote that in the chat like a week ago, and I just happened to remember it.
I'd like to counter the point that no, not every night is a moon night because we have new moon nights where the moon is not visible.
Mate, it's the same moon. it's always in the sky.
Would you say that joke is quite meta, a meta night, if you will? Shout out to Kebby.
I would say that it was like walking into your sister's room and tripping on a bra. It's a bit of a booby trap.
Why sister?
All right, now I'm done with this episode.
Weird.
I don't know. That was one of the Last of Us jokes. All right, I'll stop.
Seth, you and I have the power here. We could just walk away. We could walk away right now. We could go to Krispy Kreme. We could go to Krispy Kreme right now and just leave Josh to finish the rest of this episode.
There's a lot of jokes. I mean, I could just read them in a list.
We could just kick him out.
Okay, if I can say one more, I won't do another Last of Us one because I actually think this one's genuinely quite good. All right, you ready?
Why would you not start with that one?
Because I was building up to it. Comedy is an art form, Patrick. No, this one, I mean, I think it's funny, but it's quite dumb.
Great, thank you for building it up. You might as well tell us now.
I think it's quite good.
I hate that. I hate that so much. That one is annoyingly pretty good.
It is pretty good.
So, Seth, tell us what Moon Knight is actually about.
Okay, so Moon Knight follows the adventures of Oscar Isaac
and M. Night Shyamalan?
No, Oscar Isaac and his multiple personality disorder.
Oh, that's way less fun.
So he starts off as a character named Stephen Grant, who's who works at a museum in Britain, but he keeps having these episodes where he'll black out and then he'll wake up somewhere else completely, and the show builds up until it eventually shows that he has a second personality named Mark Spector, and Mark Spector's made a deal with the Egyptian god. God, this is tripping me out right now. Khonshu. And
the crab thing from Monster Hunter?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure about that?
I'm going to, yeah, it's Khonshu. It's Khonshu. That's the Egyptian god that Mark Spector's made a pact with, and he's gives him the powers to become the Moon Knight. And the show's basically about a battle between Khonshu and the goddess Ammit and her followers who are trying to revive her, because by reviving her, they will basically kill anyone in the world that in any point in time in their future or their past, if they're going to do a bad action, then they deserve death right now. And
wait, and we're stopping this.
Yeah, because Khonshu believes in punishing people after the crime, while Ammit believes in just ripping them out before they get the chance. And
I'm kind of on board with Ammit in this.
That is a whole ethical argument to be had of, like, if you know someone's going to commit a crime, should you punish them before they commit it? Or
it really depends where the line is, isn't it? Like, this guy like sneezed in public. Oh, see you, mate.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They never go as far as to say what how far the line is for like what they consider to be punishable by death.
So Seth, hypothetically, right? Say you're Will Arnett and you really want to kill people, before they do bad things. If someone was to come on a very famous, well-regarded podcast like Fast Travel Lounge and just read shitty Last of Us jokes, should they die?
I'm on the side of I'd wait until they do the shitty podcast jokes, and then I feel like I'm justified. If I do it before then the police are going to have a lot of questions.
So basically, either way, you're saying that it's a death threat for me.
Punishable by death, yes.
Yes, okay, yeah. So not only a threat, it's carrying. All right, no worries.
We'll bring out your best friend, the guillotine. You've been parading it around this election a lot.
That's true.
Right. So what's the tone of Moon Knight? Because that sounds, fairly good versus evil, but I could also see them doing that as kind of like a well, the last sort of Egyptian god battle movie that I can think of is weirdly Last of Us, not Last of Us, Night at the Museum 3.
Oh my god, what a great movie.
All the Night of Museums are great, but
They are, so I'm just wondering what sort of tone we're at.
It's a mix between comedy and suspense and drama, like the sort of drama you get in any Marvel thing.
So bad.
A little bit of good, a little bit of bad. You take what you can get with Marvel.
Hey, Will Arnett would kill you for that, Josh. I'm just saying, be careful, man.
Man, I'm already dead from reading the jokes.
You're already dead inside.
Yeah, there's a lot of like mystery elements of like as you're going along, you're trying to piece together what's happening. Like when Stephen first begins blacking out, you're like, oh, why is he suddenly in Eastern Europe instead of England? And then he starts getting...
That is a good question.
He starts getting phone calls from a woman who is calling him Mark, and you're like, oh, where that's going to lead. And then, and things just keep escalating and escalating. And as one puzzle gets unveiled, another one takes its place, which is always interesting.
Right. So it seems like that they're trying to rely on the multiple personality thing for a bit. So does the suspense build up into another climax, or is it kind of grappling with the reveal of the multiple personality? And is that a spoiler, by the way? Because you just kind of dropped that.
No, it's revealed at the end of the first episode about the multiple personalities. And the whole premise of Moon Knight is that the main personality is Mark Spector. So starting off with Stephen Grant is kind of like, when are they going to get to Mark?
Did you also mention Oscar Isaacs, or did I just imagine that?
Oscar Isaac is the actor playing the character.
Oh, okay. thought I was having a moment. Okay.
No. It's if you've seen Star Wars, he's Poe. I think his name is in that.
Sure.
Yeah, he's also a fantastic actor in this. Like he plays the two personalities very well, and there's scenes where he has to like interact with himself. So he's got to act as Steven, and then he's got to act again as Mark, and like bounce off himself. And those are done.
Sounds like
it sounds like Split.
Yeah, but the actor, James McAllister.
I think that's his name. Yeah. God, he did such a good job in that movie.
I just really like him as an actor. Split, X-Men, quite liked him in, and there was like a psychological art heist thing. Shoot, it's gonna come to me. Yeah, this is be prepared for an instant crush moment. We're gonna go like 10 minutes. I'm just gonna yell out the name of the movie. But yeah, I like him as an actor, so hopefully Oscar Isaac. Wait, Oscar Isaac or Jason Isaac?
Oscar Isaac.
Why am I thinking Jason Isaac from something?
I don't know.
Well, you went Egyptian gods, and then now you're going on like Greek demigods, so I'm not quite sure.
Well, no, because Jason Isaac's the Malfoy dad, isn't he, from Harry Potter?
I have no idea.
Doesn't matter. Random moment for me. That's fine. Did you enjoy it? Were there parts that you liked more than others? Were there parts that you disliked more than others? Tell us how you felt through the roller coaster of emotions that is Moon Knight.
I feel like I enjoyed it overall. Like it was pretty much on the upside the entire time. I don't feel like there was any low points in the show. It did a pretty good job of keeping things entertaining throughout the entire run. It's also pretty short. It's only 6 episodes, so each of them 40 minutes long. So it doesn't feel dragged out like the Netflix Marvel shows. They were all good, but they went longer than they needed to. So you'd get around to like the halfway to 3/4 point where it felt like they started to drag out. But Disney Plus shows have been keeping the episode count short to avoid that problem, and I feel like that's
to
been
save
working
money.
out very well.
Sorry, yeah, no, that yeah, exactly, yeah, because
it's also to save money and everything, but in terms of like the plot, it helps it to just stay focused across the 6 episodes rather than
Fair enough.
have a weird off tangent.
So the question is it a good enough show to justify someone wanting to go and get Disney Plus to see it?
Does anything justify giving money to Disney?
Yeah, no, it was a very loaded question. I just want to know what Seth says before, Will Arnett comes and kills him.
Does Disney Plus have a free trial? I assume it has a free trial. Get the free trial to watch it Moon Knight.
I don't think it actually does.
Yeah, it might
I assume
not.
I'm pretty sure it's one of those like $1 for the first month type free trials, which is not free. It's just heavily discounted.
It's $1.
Yeah. Thank you, Seth. Yeah, it is $1. That is what I said. Yeah. Crazy how that works.
I know, right? It's 100 cents. That's a lot.
Yeah, 100 cents. Think about it.
That makes. All right,
I'm phoning Will Arnett right now.
I'd say it was worth it's worth a month price of Disney Plus to watch it.
Of the dollar or full price?
The full price.
Oh my god.
The full price.
Is it worth $1 to watch it?
See, I would still say no.
What a bar. Oh. Terrible. All right.
While
so
you're
I
at
guess...
it, also watch What If, since you've got a month to watch both. Because What If was generally fantastic as well.
Can you give us a quick 30-second synopsis of that? Because that wasn't what we were going to talk about, and I'm terrified that you're going off the rails a bit here, and I have no control over my co-host, but give us the 30-second synopsis.
I was going to stop, but okay. What If is a animated series where they take the past Marvel movies and they go, what if this part of it was different? So the first episode, just to give an example, is what if it was Peggy Carter that took the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers, and she becomes Captain America instead of him.
Hank Hill's wife?
That's Peggy Hill, not Peggy Carter.
She would sell so much propane. And propane accessories. Okay, no, fair enough. I guess we have to do the obligatory out of 10. What would you give it?
Probably a 9.
That's quite high.
Okay, yeah.
That's probably coming off the high of just finishing it, and I might lower it to an 8 after a little bit of thinking, but no, right now it was a lot of fun to watch through, so I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Fantastic. Well, I guess that's honestly a higher endorsement than I thought for Moon Knight based on how it was described, but yeah, cool.
Yeah,
thank you for that, Seth.
No problem. It's hard to give too much away because it's such a suspense thing, so I don't want to go going into all the details of what happens with the different storylines.
Yeah, fair enough.
How would it compare to another Disney masterpiece like Mulan, the original animated movie?
See, Mulan's a 10.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? Asking loaded questions is a good way to just get murdered for thinking wrongly. So I'm just saying, be careful out there, man.
See, my scale doesn't change like the Pokemon scale does, so a 9 is still a 9 out of 10.
I'm never going to live that down.
The old Disney discount.
The dollar.
No, thank you for that, Steve. Oh, God, I'm so sorry. Thank you for that, Seth.
I thought you were saying that to Josh for the interruptions.
Same. You could have played it off.
Oh, man. Future Seth will figure out which one of those is funnier and just edit that one in. Josh, Uncharted Part 2. You said that.
Oh, God, please don't do that.
So...
I hate The Last of Us for calling the sequel Part 2. Don't do that to Uncharted as well.
Uncharted 2.
Uncharted Part 2, the sequel.
It's definitely not the sequel.
Is it not technically a sequel?
It's
after the events of the first one.
No. Oh, my fuck.
He's
on speed dial, bro. I will ring him.
I'm genuinely lost. It's a sequel.
It is, but that's not what the name of it is. It's Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Is it Among Thieves? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What was the first one's called? It was about El Dorado, but Drake's Fortune. Okay.
It's Drake's Fortune, Among Thieves. What is the third one?
No one played it.
Yeah, and
people played it, but they didn't really like it here.
Yes, yeah.
And Uncharted 3 is called Drake's Deception.
Yeah, there we go. I was going to say Drake something. Yeah.
I mean, you were going with the main character's name. You had a pretty high hit chance. You should have just gone for it.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Anyway, tell us about Uncharted 2.
I guess it probably would help to give a quick background on me playing Uncharted 1. So I had a PS4 ages ago, very long time ago, that I got off Seth as cool, I'll buy it off you and I'll play a couple of games that I wanted to play. Uncharted was the game that sort of broke my back after playing a couple of other games and went, I don't want this console. And I got rid of it. I hated the game that much. So after being bullied for the last couple of weeks to play Uncharted 2, I was like, I'll give it a go. And both Seth and Patrick like it, and a couple of mutual friends of ours. And I picked up the game and immediately went, wow, this is dated, and then proceeded to do things that would make sense in common, like even I would just say newer video game standards.
You jumped on a wall with flat tiles and expected to climb it.
Yeah, I was going to say, we do have to put that in context for the audience. This guy here looked at a wall and went, "I'ma climb that," and then wondered why Drake just kind of stepped up to the wall and then fell down again.
We watched him for like a minute trying to jump on like 5 different walls, and then in the end we're like, just jump on the gate that looks like you can climb on it.
Yeah.
So, yes, to be fair, you have to take that with a grain of salt. I am a dumb shit. But
not to mention, disable the alarm. The alarm is in the fuse box, but where is the fuse box?
Looking at the cord
and then kept staring at it going, I don't know where it is. Like, I can keep following the cord, but it ends here and I don't know where it is. Oh, look, that's actually the fuse box 5 minutes later.
Yeah, that's the one.
And then he proceeds to turn off the alarm that apparently has no back to base system, and the alarm just turns on.
Also, in the first session,
museum.
Also, in the first session you were playing, you're like, "Oh, this controls like shit." It's like, yeah, he's wounded, he's moving sluggishly. It's on purpose.
The movement didn't get any better once he was repaired. I don't think repaired's the right word for a human. But the movement didn't get any better. Like, it's still
once he used more than 1% of his power.
Gonna be like, what was that movie where she uses like 50% or something and goes like,
Lucy.
Lucy.
What if we used 100% of our brains?
I don't think she even gets to 100% at the end of the movie. I think it's close.
They were probably saving that for the sequel.
Maybe. But it still has the same problems after he's what's the repaired word?
Healed.
Healed. Once he's healed, it's like it does the whole, and I think I described it this way while I was playing it, but it's like Gears of War cover style, and it tries to force you into cover 24/7, and if you're just trying to run past something, you're actively forced into cover half the time, and it's so frustrating. And if you press like circle to get off the wall, it's like, cool, I'm going to jump to the other wall. And I'm like, no, get off the wall. Plus, I'm still playing with a controller that I can't aim with, so that there is that. But like, there's no run button. There's several sections where it's just like, hey, you've gone from freely controlling the camera to you can't move the camera at all, and here's this horrible camera angle. Or you'll be running through something and then the camera will go like 180 and look at you instead of looking behind you. And then you'll start running the opposite direction because the camera changed, so the controls changed. And it's just a hard cut. It's just so dated. I don't like it at all. And the story so far is shit.
I will grant you that it is rarer for games nowadays to shift the camera to a different perspective for the sake of making a movement, like jumping across rooftops and things. But I don't know. I mean, admittedly, I haven't played it super recently, but I've definitely played my rose-tinted glasses refused to believe that it was that hard to control back when I did play it quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I'm also in the same boat of like, I haven't played it in
You would have been in the mindset, though, of that's how games played at that point in time. And that's how all of them played at that point in time. So it would have been normal to you.
Aren't you the guy that talked about how good an RPG from like 15 years ago still plays, and how like you still play that, like, and you've played more hours of that than like most other games on the planet?
To be fair, that was a PC game. They all kind of play the same.
I'm also myself. I'm of the opinion that games don't really age. Like, if a game is strong enough, then it stands a test of time. Like the Metal Gear Solid games.
The tank controls in the original Resident Evil games don't feel dated to you.
I haven't played
them.
And
the opening the door animation for every single door.
I haven't played them, but going back to them and going into the mindset of this is how that game is played, I'd probably be fine with it.
How does the tank control? Like, what do you have to do?
No, goddamn Patrick. Tank controls as in like, you will press like left and then go like hard left or hard right or whatever, and you can only move in like 4 directions. And every time you go to
that's not tank controls. Tank controls is when you press left or right, your character starts rotating that direction, and then you press forward to move in the direction they're facing.
Yeah. Well, they turn. Okay, so I said that wrong. They turn left, and then you can press W to move in the direction you're facing.
So you
can only go one way at a time.
In Sly 3: Honor Among Thieves, the tank controls were for a PlayStation 2 era game. Your left and right analog stick were independent controls for the tank treads left and right. So if you wanted to go forward,
not an actual tank, it's just a term.
I don't care. I'm on a roll. Leave me alone. So you had to move both analog sticks up to move forwards, both analog sticks down to move backwards. And then if you wanted to move forwards and turn, you had to move one up and not touch the other one. But if you wanted to stay on the same spot and turn, you could spin one up and one down. And it was a little odd to get used to, but I'm pretty sure I can now qualify. I'm pretty sure I'm now qualified to fly a helicopter after understanding those movement controls.
Yeah, I remember that section very well, and I also had to come to terms with the controls for that, but they're a lot of fun.
They are. So where did you get up to, or where are you up to currently in Uncharted 2?
That's a good question. Where did I end it? So you
ended it right after...
Fine. I'll say it. You ended up when you first arrived in Nepal after running and gunning away from the truck, which was the major selling point of Uncharted 2 back from the...
That was the selling point?
It was the demo or the trailer, I forget which, of Uncharted 2
That was the worst part of the game so far.
That's because you died in a section I've never seen anyone die in before.
That was not the selling point. The selling point was the moving train section midway through the game.
No, but they always ended the trailer with the section of the truck driving after Nathan while Nathan's just firing the gun behind him.
I can't believe people thought that was fun. I just looked at it and was like, okay, well, I've got a little gun that's shooting like probably 7.62 by like whatever caliber it is, and it's not going to pierce that armored truck. There's no fucking, especially while I'm holding it with one arm, shooting it behind me, flailing. So I was like, why would I shoot this gun and waste my ammo? And then I died. And it didn't tell me.
Shoot your gun and waste the ammo.
This is also another thing of why I think you like. It's something you don't enjoy because it's supposed to be like a rompy action flick, so you don't have to do everything that makes sense in it, as long as like for the enjoyment it happens.
I would rather I would enjoy having 60 more bullets than I would have enjoyed firing 60 bullets at that truck.
Well, I guess, let's look at the flip side. Did you enjoy having the truck crushing your ribcage?
I mean, it was more funny than the successful one, I will admit. Especially when I died twice, because the first time I was like, I'm not going to shoot this, and then the second time I think I shot one clip, and you're like, why did you stop shooting? And I was like, oh, I have to shoot the truck.
The game tells you. It
tells me how to shoot. It doesn't tell you that I have to shoot. I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I can shoot behind me.
What?
I just thought it was in general.
That tutorial message popping up would be for you to do it in that segment.
So,
I just figured I could outrun the truck.
Josh over here sees the tutorial in Cuphead for jump and dash and goes, only an idiot would jump and dash over the obstacle that I need to jump and dash at. I'm going to walk into it and then say that the game's shit because I'm not playing it right. Okay.
I play a lot of gun games that are quite simulatory, and like if you like shoot a round, that round, if you don't have that round later, you're probably going to die because you wasted that bullet.
My brother in Christ, you were the one commenting on how Drake was jumping and staying in the air for 3 seconds.
He did take a very long time to jump. Like he was just jumping and just keep floating.
Did you think that the game would give you unrealistic jump physics and then hyper realistic bullet mechanics?
I don't know. It's just the habit that I don't want to waste the ammo. And then like I don't know, man. There's just so many things with this.
You're saying that now, but the first moment you got a gun in like right after the stealth section, you started running and shooting everything, and then you're like, there's so much ammo, and it's like, yeah, it's the opposite of Uncharted. You get a lot of ammo. It's the opposite of The Last of Us.
The game's like, okay, the enemy hasn't seen you yet. You can stealth your way through this campsite, and you're just like, but what if I executed all of them with this unsilenced pistol? I'm just saying.
The flip side is that the stealth mechanics are so shit that I couldn't stand to do them. And every time I would walk up to someone, it wouldn't stealth them. It would just punch them in the head and everyone would come running.
Tell me how stealthy the truck went, Josh.
In the stealth section, you were jumping and running at people in their line of sight.
That was because I'd given up.
That was before you had even tried it.
Were you there the very first time that they tell you how to do stealth?
Yeah,
Patrick was. I don't know if you were.
I was, yes.
Yeah. So me literally just going, oh, that's how you stealth, and just punching them in the head, like, and just not even doing the stealth takedown. I'm like, cool game, cool.
And then you're immediately thrown into like a big stealth zone, and your first instinct was, I'm gonna jump over this left wall, run into this guy that's taking a smoke break, punch him out, and then go to this guy in the middle of a fountain.
Before I got shot. Well, actually, I didn't even get shot. I didn't know that they could ring an alarm. I thought they were just going to start fighting me.
It's a stealth section.
It didn't look like a stealth section to me. That's why I ran and jumped over and started punching people.
It's a museum heist. Of course it's stealth.
Look, it's stealthy if there's no survivors.
Seth, you and I are going to have to bail Josh out one day. And he's going to be in the prison, and he's going to say, "I had no idea that the museum guards had walkie-talkies or any ability to sound an alarm. All I did was punch people in the head.
An alarm.
All I did was run
I've
up to
deactivated
people,
the alarm.
punching
Why
them
would
in the
there be
head.
more?
Crazy how that works.
So which one of you gets to be Chloe?
I'm assuming I have the bigger boobs here.
It just hurts because like through all of it, it's just active antagonism from Josh on the part of playing through the game. Just all the parts where it's like, wow, the writing from an objective standpoint is very good to establish character dynamics in this one scene. Meanwhile, Josh is still upset that punching a guy in the head didn't count as stealth.
Where was the good character dynamics?
Oh,
the whole story so far is so bad.
There we go.
Because you weren't paying attention, because you kept complaining about things over the dialogue. Like,
I got told that their teeth were black, but the fact that I can't rotate the camera to see that their teeth are black makes this an inferior game.
Also, I want to bring up
yes.
that the most painful part was actually when there was a brilliant joke. Me, Patrick, and one of Patrick's friends go, "Oh, it still holds up to this day." And then 5 seconds later, Josh is like, "What was a joke?"
I didn't get the joke. Okay, I misunderstood the joke. So the joke was, how did it start? Basically, it's like there's a guy up there, like approaching me.
There's a guy above you. There's a guy above you.
And
yeah,
then
there's
you
a guy
pull him
above
down,
you.
and he starts going, "There's a guy below you. There's a guy below you."
And so I didn't correlate the fact that I threw the person down and he was now below me. I thought he was saying there's a guy below me because Flynn was still below me, and I was like, I don't understand. Like, it's not that funny.
It was Flynn on the radio.
I know, but Flynn was below me on the radio. I didn't think it was that funny. Now that I know it was the guy that was falling below me, it holds up considerably better.
The best part was that Patrick's friend was in physical pain when Josh was like, "I didn't get the joke."
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, look, it's no Last of Us pun book. So, I mean, is it really a joke?
Not to mention
puns don't qualify as jokes.
That and we all comment on how young Sully looks. You know, just a strapping Mark Wahlberg type figure, if you will. And then Josh over here goes, "Man, he looks old as fuck."
He does. I didn't have the Uncharted 4 comparison. He said he looked old in Uncharted
looks
4.
Like Stan Lee in Uncharted 4.
Oh, God. Dead.
Oh, God. Should I put this... Should we mention the Stan Lee thing, by the way?
What's the Stan Lee thing?
The Stan Lee estate sold the rights to Stan Lee's likeness and digital recreation to Disney recently.
Oh, my God.
Ooh.
So
this isn't part of the Stan Lee's Twitter account's NFT scam, is it?
I feel like that shouldn't be legal for multiple reasons, but we'll just leave it there.
Disney doesn't care because they did it with Carrie Fisher for Star Wars. Which
is still wrong. They could have killed her off in such a better way, and they decided to do some Superman shit and then CGI her into the next one and make her a terrible character.
Right. Yeah,
oh my
I'm
God.
in the vacuum of space, but don't worry.
To be fair,
I can fly now.
To be fair, she died after episode 8, so it wasn't a choice to kill her off in that movie and then whatever. But like digitally recreating her for episode 9 to just put her into that movie was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. So back to
wait. But before we move on, just quickly. Speaking of like deepfake technology, Kendrick Lamar also released a new video that has deepfakes in it that is incredible. And if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it because it's really, really cool tech. It's a really good song.
Video?
It is. Oh my God! What does it start? It's like part 5, but is it the love part 5?
You guys should go watch the Kendrick Lamar video.
5? The heart part 5. The heart part 5. Very good.
Thank you, Josh.
All right. So, Patrick.
back to Uncharted 2. You are in the first, after the truck section, kind of actiony sequence in Nepal, where the game. I'm not going to say the game gets better after that part because I actually quite enjoyed the mystery of Borneo and stuff that you were doing beforehand. So it seems like you don't have any intention to keep playing.
Probably not. No, not until I'm bullied.
I'm wondering when you're going to grow up.
I haven't so far. Look, we're 27 or 28 years in.
I've known him for 14 years.
I've just always had COVID. I'm just the head of the crowd.
Long COVID really hits different, huh?
Especially when you get it in 2007.
Meanwhile, I'm like, wow, The Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2 were like one of the best games I've ever played. And then I go play the game that you guys were comparing to Last of Us, and I'm like, this is shit.
Okay, I wouldn't say
it's the same team.
I wouldn't say I'm comparing them because I like them for very different reasons.
People keep comparing them to me. Hey, you played this, you should play this. And I'm like,
hey, Seth, you like them for different reasons because Donut Drake isn't available in Last of Us.
Yes, Donut Drake isn't available in Uncharted 4 either, and they're cowards for doing that.
Could you imagine if Donut Drake was, Donut Joel was available in Last of Us?
God, that would have made the game fantastic.
Just Donut Ellie following Donut Joel.
Donut clickers.
Donut Joel going fisticuffs with a bloater.
The bloater is smaller than Donut Joel.
It's actually just a fair fight at that point. It's just bare knuckle brawling.
Or just the bloaters are donut skinned, but they actually throw donuts instead of the acid blobs.
Oh, true.
Is it Krispy Kreme?
Bloaters would like to sponsor us.
Better be.
So I guess I have to ask, although I suspect I know the answer. What would you give Uncharted 2 out of 10 based on what you played so far, given you probably won't pick it up again?
A 10.
Thanks, Seth. I figured that. Josh, what about you?
I think probably a 4. Probably a 4. The music was quite good.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an indictment on the education system in Australia. This man does not realize that 8 is in fact higher than 4. I think he meant to say 8, which, fair enough, that's a pretty good score. I would have given it like a 9 or a 10 personally, but that's fine, I guess.
Definitely a 10. 2 and 4 are both fantastic games.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'll play more. I think it's like 10 hours long total. I'm like 3 hours in or something. So maybe I'll play more. I haven't got anything else to play. So
I think it's closer to 12-ish. Maybe a bit longer.
I'd say 8 to 10 myself. That's about how long it took me for my normal runs.
Might be thinking of a different game. But yeah, no, it isn't a super long game, but it is quite enjoyable. It still has some of my favorite just kind of video game moments, honestly.
The average time on how long to beat is 10.5 hours for regular playthrough and 21.5 hours for 100%.
That is insane because 100% is just collecting all the collectibles as you're going through this path.
But it's not, because it's also going back and beating it on crushing, which you can only beat once you beat the game once.
That is very true.
If it's only another 8 hours of time,
follow for more.
I do have an Uncharted hot take that I want to hear your opinion on, though, Patrick.
Yeah, right.
Because Uncharted is such a it's very much built around the narrative and the characters. I actually think because Uncharted 3 is such a clusterfuck with its story and characters and everything, I'd probably rank that the worst in the series, even though it's a step between 2 and 4 in best gameplay.
The worst in the series, including number 1.
Including number 1, yeah. Overall, I enjoy 3 the least.
Well,
wow.
You see, Josh has a hot take to counter yours, Seth, in that Josh would rather play Balan's Wonderworld 4 times, I believe is what he said.
I forgot we were meant to bring that up!
So, I'm curious to see if that holds up. I guess we'll look forward to the first of Balan's Wonderworld's playthrough next week, right, Josh?
See, the thing is, I said Uncharted 1, and I was never going to play that anyway. And I'm also not willing to play
through it 4 times.
Yeah.
I'm not buying Balan's Wonderworld. When it gets cheap enough to be on special for like $5, I will play through it 4 times.
I will make it the worst for you, and I will buy you a physical copy.
I won't even touch the physical copy.
I will chip in for that, Seth.
I will not put a physical copy. I don't even know if I have a disc. No, I do. I do have a disc drive one because I have Gran Turismo. So I guess a physical copy would work, but I don't want to use it.
Yeah, it'll just be in your house, taking up some sort of mind space.
It'll take up space in my house. Like that's why I don't have physical games.
You ever get that feeling when you're feeling particularly altruistic and you're like, yeah, I could probably afford multiple mosquito blankets or like a goat for a village. I'm willing to chip in
a
for
village even.
Balan's Wonderworld for Josh.
It's $10 at DB Games for the PS4 version.
It's still way higher than I thought it would be, honestly. How much is Babylon's Fall by comparison?
Give me a second.
Because they're both Square Enix
They
terrible
both came
games.
out around the same time. $60.
You just want to call yourself in the top 2 players of Babylon's Fall.
I could be the number 1 in Balan's Wonderworld. What do you mean?
Yeah, fair enough. Right, I think we've probably finished up on the Uncharted 2 discussion. Looking forward to Balan's Wonderworld review coming next week, or maybe the week after if we actually get to Last of Us Part 2 next week. Who knows? Time is an illusion, and we have no organizational skills. Next up on the list for Round the Lounge, why don't we bounce it back to Seth? You want to bitch about Ubisoft? You have 10 minutes. The floor is yours.
10 minutes? Josh had like 40 for Uncharted.
Mate, I didn't even want to talk about it.
So yeah, I played some more Far Cry 6 with Trinity, and that's been going well. We're slowly making more progress throughout the story. The last thing we did was doing a mission with a character that I've been enjoying a lot. It'd help if I remembered his name right now, but he's basically the inventor that's helping you out through the journey. And
Leonardo da Vinci.
Close. He's black though.
Leonardo da Vinci.
We just did a mission where we
Don't get cancelled.
We just did a mission where he's got this armored tractor. He's like a big machine. He's calling Daisy, and it's turning fuel into napalm. So he's planning to make bombs to bomb the main villain.
Even possible, like chemistry wise, to turn fuel into napalm?
I don't know. I do not care to find out.
Napalm is polystyrene and petrol. So yeah,
like doing that in a tractor.
It wasn't a tractor. It was a big ass machine he made.
That tractor has a name.
It filled like an entire cave.
Okay. That's a bit more dramatic than I thought. Okay.
Not even a workshop or like a barn or something. Just
he was doing it in the middle of a cave.
I've got Daisy trapped in a cave making napalm. Everyone's like, I'm sorry, what?
My favorite part though is he's really upset about Daisy being broken and stuff, and he's like, it's like he's feeling very sorrowful as it's blown up, but like he's calling the napalm her babies and stuff, and her blood, sweat, and tears, and then you're like, she would have loved to see the end result or whatever. And he's like, it's just a machine, man. Don't make it weird.
It definitely sounds like he's making it weird.
It does sound like he's making it weird. Yeah, this was Far Cry 6, right?
Yeah.
Why does it sound like an acid trip?
Far Cry's been an acid trip since 3.
I haven't played them, so.
Yeah, that'd be true, actually. Remember back when it was just about dealing with malaria?
The thing I want to bitch about though is as we've been playing it, Trin's like, why don't you have these weapons that I've been using? Because we both got the same edition of the game. You should have all these DLC weapons that came with it. I'm like, I don't know. I've downloaded everything. I've gone to the store. I've double checked. I've got the season pass installed. I've got all the DLCs installed. I don't know why I don't have all the DLC weapons. Ubisoft is fucking insane, and family sharing doesn't work across systems. Because I bought the game on my US account, I'm only eligible to play the DLC missions, but I'm not entitled to the DLC rewards.
What? How does that even work?
I don't know, but for some reason they've locked that between family sharing, so I can only use DLC weapons on my US account if I play through it. And the other thing I want to bitch about with Ubisoft being fucking insane is that to go and test this out, I went onto my US account to go play for a couple of hours so I could go and retrieve the DLC in the game itself just to test the theory that it was the family sharing restricting it. It wouldn't let me get past the press X to start the game screen unless I signed into Ubisoft Connect. Like, it literally would not let me continue until I made a separate Uplay account for my US account.
Wild.
For a single-player game.
Wow.
DRM, baby. It gets worse every day.
Yep. So, yeah, Ubisoft is fucking stupid.
Or at least it doesn't run to Nouveau.
Oh god, yeah.
Yet.
Yet.
Give them time.
Yeah, it's been a really good game. It's just the last session I ran into a couple of things that just gave me a headache, and it's like
Right.
I'm glad I can still play the DLC stuff on my main accounts, but not having the DLC weapons is kind of an annoying thing to run into.
Isn't Far Cry 6 the one where they paid that guy, that actor or whatever it was, like
Yeah,
a load of money to be?
Despacito.
Yeah, to be like they paid him like a load of money to be on the box, and then say like a couple of voice lines, and then for him not to be in the game pretty much at all.
He's in the game. He's had not like a ton of cutscenes. He's not as involved as like Vass or Pagan Min were, but
Do you think he's like pretty much solo box character worthy in the game?
At the moment,
he's not Voss.
no.
Huh.
He's shown up in like 4 cutscenes maybe so far in the amount of time I've played, and I've probably put in about 10 to 15 hours, I think.
'Cause he
Wow.
was shortlisted for best actor in a video game, whatever that category was for video game awards.
Yeah, and that would have been really stupid because he hasn't had a ton of screen time yet. Like he's written good, he performs well, but for like screen time, that would have been a slap in the face for a lot of people that perform in games.
Okay, another quick question for you. You're playing for it with your partner. Are you just playing single player at the same pace?
It's it only runs off my account and my unlocks, so she'd have to do everything again on her side for like her own unlockables and stuff. But basically, it's just running through the single player missions in the co-op.
So there is co-op that you play together.
Yeah, we're all in the open worlds together, like just playing together at the same time.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess
any more
that's
questions,
me
Josh?
done for Far Cry for now.
No, I was just curious because the way that you said it was like a single player game, and then you said you're playing with your partner. I was like,
right. You know, I mean, like primarily single player. Like, there's no massive multiplayer mode or like live service stuff or anything. It's
Wait,
like for
Far
all
Cry
intents.
6 isn't a battle royale?
No, not yet.
But it has guns. It has to be a battle royale.
It has an open world map.
Like, wait, when's Naruto getting added? I don't understand. Why isn't Godzilla here?
Naruto isn't in there, but Stranger Things is.
What?
Yeah, there's a Stranger Things mission in the game.
I don't even want to ask why.
I don't know why, but Stranger Things gets put in a lot of video games and a lot of cross-promotional stuff.
That's a pretty strange thing.
That's it. Hello? Will Arnett? Yeah, I got someone to kill for wrong think.
Ring, ring. Hello?
Yeah.
I answer the phone.
Also loved you in BoJack Horseman, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
Right. No, fair enough. Thank you for that, Seth. Yeah, I guess I got 5 minutes to talk about Many Motorways. Many Motorways, actually, it was partially developed. So, as I understand it, might be wrong on this, started as a mobile game and then came to Steam, I'm pretty sure, rather than the other way around. But one of my mates was actually part of the porting development team to bring it from mobile to Steam, which was cool.
Nice.
His name's in the credits. So naturally, every bug I
as
find,
in
I send him a
the
screenshot.
mate that I know?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Because he was like really invested watching you playing this game, and I was like, no way.
Because we both went to high school with the guy that was part of the dev team.
Cool.
So yeah, he's in the credits. It's kind of cool to see, and it's kind of like a nice touch that the final level. I don't know if this is the case in the mobile game. I haven't played the mobile game, but the final level in the main game is Wellington, as in the capital of New Zealand, which kind of fitting because Wellington is an absolute bitch of a level, which is kind of realistic given how we designed the city. But no, it's quite fun. Really, generally really calming. But I quite enjoy traffic management. God, that sounds so sad.
It's like the people that come home from a long day of work just to go and play like this
Farming
simulator, office simulator, train simulator.
Thanks for attacking our entire European audience at once.
What European audience?
Well, now we'll never know.
Hey, we had that one listener in
Germany.
Russia, I think.
I think it was Russia or Germany. I think there was one in Russia as well.
Probably a NordVPN user, which, if you too want to connect from Russia, just use sponsor code, I don't know.
When we get one.
Yeah, when we get...
That's the actual sponsor code, when we get one.
When we get one. Use it for 0% off. It's like a free trial, but you pay full price.
If it says the code's invalid, just keep going.
But actually, completely separate tangent. Really quickly, the AWS Summit is on at the moment, and unironically, one of my favorite seminars that was on, one of my favorite keynote speeches was a traffic management group in Australia using AWS's machine learning platform to better automate traffic light systems. And I'll stick up my hand.
Sounds really
and say
interesting, actually.
It was genuinely interesting, and I hate that
I would
enjoyed
genuinely
watching it.
go watch that. That's excellent. Okay, cool.
But
Well,
yeah. So anyway, so Mini Motorways, the whole point of it, the whole idea of it is that it's part of the mini series, Mini Metro, and I think there's a third one that I haven't played, but. Mini Metro is like public transport systems. Mini Motorways is, as it says, motorway systems. So the whole idea is that you want to connect houses with shops via roads. And there are a whole bunch of assumptions about how the real world works, such as, hey, clearly we are in this very, very built up blue neighborhood. I'm going to establish a red shop, and in real life, that red shop would be ostracized from society, and the blue people would come in and absolutely burn it to the ground, and then it would be swapped with a blue shop. But in this game,
just playing off racist Smurfs or something. What?
This sounds like the Australian political system right now.
It does sound like the Australian political system, except usually losing.
So the whole idea is that you want to connect the same colored house with the same colored shop, even if the game decides that it wants to spawn a house or a shop of a particular color in a completely nonsensical place for the area. And I can only assume that it was because they got an excellent deal on rent. So you have a few tools in your disposal. You want to connect. So your main building block is roads. You want to connect, roads from the houses to the shops. But then each week that passes, you get like a choice of upgrades. So you can choose bridges or tunnels if that's applicable to the city that you started in, because not all cities have like rivers or like hills to go through. Roundabouts, traffic lights, and motorways. And so the whole thing is that you want to build this nice little efficient system to get people from the houses to the shops. Quite fun, really sort of calming, simple, casual game. You can see why it started as a mobile game, but quite enjoyable. And the fact that I can send bug reports to a friend of mine is just an added bonus, because I enjoy annoying people by breaking things by breaking established rules that they try and predetermine. Don't call me a rebellious hero. That's basically all I want to say on that. I don't
Rating out of
actually
10?
remember how. Yeah, I don't actually remember how much I paid for it. It was fairly cheap because it is a mobile game port, but for a casual game, I'd say it's, well, for what I paid, which was less than 20. I actually don't remember what it was because I bought it a while ago. But yeah, I'd give it a solid 8 as a casual game. It doesn't have
currently $14.50 Australian.
Yeah, so that's kind of the level that I thought it was about at. It doesn't have a huge amount of replayability unless you want to go for like achievement hunting and stuff, but just as something different, because it is quite a different style of game. I quite enjoy it. Random other topic, just because I saw it available on Steam prior to recording. Titanfall 2 down to I think 80% off at the moment.
I bought it.
Highly recommend.
There's a funny thing about that as well, in that the player count is going back up because the DDoS attack stopped. People are thinking that the DDoS attacker was either in Russia or Ukraine, because the DDoSing stopped right as the war was happening.
It's also so it's $6.39 for the ultimate version. It includes everything. That's nuts, actually. And
Yeah,
even if you never intend to play the multiplayer,
That's
as
exactly
bad
what I
as
was
the
gonna
first
say.
one was, oh my god,
Yeah.
the single player is so fucking good.
Yeah. So even because I haven't played the multiplayer in multiple years, but the single player still sticks out to me as just an excellent campaign. And for how cheap it is at the moment, I know that price shouldn't really be a factor in rating out of 10 because it's 80% or whatever percent off, but for the price, single player alone is a 10 out of 10 for me. It's such good value.
Honestly,
it's
even
really-
at full price, that single player was worth that. It was so good.
It's really a shame that EA just fucked its release as much as it did, because it was fun. Playing multiplayer was fun, but it just didn't have the staying power because of
People
when it
like
released relative
mechs.
to Battlefield.
It's
Yeah.
so surprising that there hasn't been a big mecha shooter besides Titanfall.
Well, you have
which is-
MechWarrior, but it's not super popular.
Well, it's also funny in that the original Battlefield 2042 was included mechs as well, or was it? Might have been 2142, the really old one, the really old PC game. That had mechs.
I think that was 2142. Either way, yeah, that was cool. That was a good game.
Anyway, yeah, just wanted to give that a PSA because, if you happen to be listening to this and it's still on sale, could not recommend that you pick it up enough. Excellent game. And it's actually comparatively quite old now that it probably runs on whatever machine you have.
I think even back then it ran on toasters.
It ran on a few things, yeah. It was like medium sort of spec. It released in 2016 in October.
Golden age of Respawn Entertainment.
Yeah.
It was Respawn, right?
It was Respawn, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Respawn and then, published by EA. The sale ends on the 25th, so 6 days from now. Also, 6 days from now.
While we're on a Steam chat, I want to point out that Chrono Cross popped up on my list, and it says it was relevant to me because it's similar to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
What?
What?
I can see how those things are similar. There's both like sci-fi, right?
I guess.
They both have an S in there.
Also, Fallen Order is also a fantastic game.
Yeah, true. Well,
it didn't really run on the One X. It kind of ran at about 20 frames a second if you were lucky.
Play it now on your Series X. It runs good now.
That's a whole generation later for a game that was released for the previous gen. Like, nah, that's not good enough.
The bug fix patches, at least on PC, make it a pretty good experience now, as far as I understand. Which I think it's one of those that I picked up on sale, but just haven't played through yet. But that's in the middle of a priority list that is slowly growing, and it is not near the top. So I might get to it one day, and I will tell you guys all about it. Any final thoughts on Mini Motorways / Steam sales? Because that seems to be what the section has devolved into.
Is there a Sydney level? Is there a Sydney level on Mini Motorways?
No, there is not. Actually, I don't.
It's because it would be impossible to program.
The Australian government's like, hey, if anyone can figure this out,
a bowl of noodles.
Yeah, like if you actually beat like a Sydney level that was programmed in any kind of realism, they would literally offer you a job. Like, it actually sounds quite fun though.
There's a mod, slight tangent. There's a mod in City Skylines that was specifically about traffic management. You could put in and program like traffic lights and like roundabout logic and stuff, and like whether or not cars could lane change. It was kind of cathartic to watch someone like ease traffic congestion, because a few of the like playable levels were ease the traffic congestion in this area, and I don't know. There's just something nice about just seeing a completely bottlenecked system slowly becoming more and more efficient. But that's kind of what I do as a day job, so that might be why.
I was about to say, that's just the programmer in you.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. So that does bring us to the end of Round the Lounge this week. Thanks to you both for sharing, and that means that we get to move on to part 2 for this week, which is of course the news. And first up, Seth, you're a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, you could say I'm a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Would you say that Konami might have had a change of heart?
No. We can't do this after I've been doing all these puns.
He doesn't stand a ghost of a chance.
Alright, I'll give you that one.
Screw the rules, I have money.
Yugi boy. Anyway, yes, first up on the list this week, we have news that Konami has finally unbanned the goated Yu-Gi-Oh card, Change of Heart, that has been banned for, I can't believe this, 17 years.
Not as long as Pot of Greed, I think.
No, I think Pot of Greed's had like limited phases.
Okay. I must have missed that.
Change of Heart's like always just been pretty much banned.
Yeah, because it's just a card where you place it down like, yeah, your strongest monster is mine now.
this is mine now. Yeah.
Thanks.
Nice claws you have there.
Thanks. Because Monster Reborn and Black Hole are also banned or limited run cards, aren't they?
Monster Reborn is limited in the OCG, I think.
I'm not sure
about the TCG. Yeah, limited is 1.
I don't know about Black Hole.
What do we think that this will do to the meta?
Probably nothing major for like high end, because I I at this point I assume too many boss monsters have in the text this card cannot be targeted, and change of heart you have to target a monster.
I think the only way I see it coming into effect is if someone's like halfway through a chain and you can identify it, and then on your turn you're just like, all right, that monster you need to chain off is mine now, and they're like, oh, bye.
That depends on like whereabouts in the chain it is, like the spell speed.
It does. Yeah, it does.
God, I hate spell speed as well.
I don't like modern Yu-Gi-Oh in general, but yeah. Cool. Do we have anything more to say about this other than it's like fantastic artwork?
Fucking so good, the artwork for Change of Heart. It's one of the strongest they've ever done.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. Even back as a kid, I knew that what I was getting in my standard very shitty unorganized Yu-Gi-Oh deck that this card was special.
That and Karibo.
Karibo's actually not a bad card. Like disguised in a bad damage, that's very good.
Toon World.
Toon World is actual shit.
It is. It's so bad.
Toon World deck. Let's go.
Toon World decks now are actually good,
absolutely broken.
but Toon World itself is a shit card.
Yeah, for like in the anime, in my
manga,
manga,
it look so good.
They've made it look so fucking good. It was so overpowered, and then you get the card in real life, and you're like, this is utter shit.
They probably toned it down once it became a real card.
Yeah. The first season of Yu-Gi-Oh was like basically just one guy's like wild D&D ramblings in a card game.
It really was. It was such a fantastic way to do it. I
was.
also like how Pegasus's deck perfectly goes, okay, you've made me go into the second half of my deck. Now all the Eldritch Horrors come out.
Yeah, it goes from like Toon World to what the fuck is that thing?
Yeah.
Relinquished. What the hell's a Relinquish?
Yeah, that's right.
And it's just like, oh cool, my Relinquish will just absorb your monster, and if you attack it, you attack your monster, and you're like, what the fuck?
I know so little about Yu-Gi-Oh, but I still remember Pegasus running Toon World and Relinquished.
Yeah. And that's what you get from his starter deck as well. It's Relinquished on the front, and then the rest is like Toon cards.
All because of his Sharingan eye, right?
Yeah. I
understand that reference now.
that eye was because he needed a way to turn everything into Egyptian shadow games.
He was just looking into Yami's mind to see all of the things that he was thinking about young Yugi and how inappropriate it was for the show.
To see if he did in fact have crazy enough hair for two people. Shout out to Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series.
But the power
it was to find out if the power is for his leather pants, yeah.
But the power of friendship blocked it out.
True. Anyway, good news to all the Change of Heart stands out there. Next,
finally dig it out from your closet.
Next up on the list,
find Seth while you're in there.
Next up on the list,
I'm out of the closet though.
Swear to God,
I know we're married.
I am the sandwich. Next up on the list, we have a well-placed source telling us that Nvidia's next generation 4000 series GPUs could be just a few weeks away. Now, this sort of blows my mind because for the longest time it was like 10
months away.
Isn't that what I said?
Weeks,
months. You know, soon. Soon, TM.
So there's a difference in between this. And what I want to say for this is that the big source could be the fact that they always release their graphics cards in the later half of the year, which is a few months away.
Hearsay, right? No, it's blown my mind. I don't know who started this trend, but I remember, only 5 years ago, I have a 1080 Ti. At the time, it was quite a like, big card. I had to go without food for multiple days in order to afford it, and I did. And I'm pretty sure that trade-off was worth it. I don't know. I'll talk to my therapist about it. But the point being that I'm pretty sure before the 1080 Ti came out, it was like 10, what did it start? 40? It was like 50, 60, 70, 80, and then like 80 Ti. And then I don't know who started it, but between graphics cards and like smartphones, they're just like, yeah, no, fuck that naming series. We're just going to start jumping in tens. And so then it was like the 20 series, and now it's the 30 series, and now it's the 40 series. And it's like, in the same way that the iPhone, Samsung S10, I think it went to S11, and then it was just like, yeah, it's the S20 now. Yeah. Surprise.
Yeah. Now, they did the S22, so it's like, not quite the same, but yeah, I don't know what the hell everyone's thinking. It's like, hey, we have like a recognizable brand and naming system. why don't we fuck it up? And then you've got Xbox in the corner, literally drooling on itself.
I'll give it for the Nvidia ones though. I give them a pass because I think going up by 10s just generally makes it easier to understand. Like the 40 series is a new generation, and then between that you got like the cheap one, which is the 70, the middle is the 80, and then the high end is the 90. So
okay, but they've always done that. The difference is that they were going from like, so they had, well, actually, to be fair, they had the 1000 series before, like ages and ages back. They had like the 6800s and whatnot. But then
because my first graphics card was a 4800. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think mine was like a 40 something 100 as well. But then they started moving up, and then they went to, I think the first ones in the new scheme were like, it might have started at 100, but if they did, I don't remember them. But I started paying attention when they were about the 400s, and they went to like 500, 600, 700, 800.
Yeah,
and then when they got to 1,000, they're like, fuck it, 2,000, 3,000.
See, I'm fine with it because I started paying attention after they decided to do that. So I'm like, okay, 1080, then 2080, then 3080. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, just went like Oprah. They're like, oh, you want 1,000? You want 1,000? Hey!
The numbers, Mason, what do they mean? Anyway, to actually discuss the article, this is courtesy of Kotaku. Basically, as Josh correctly pointed out, that we might be getting insight into the 4000 series graphics cards, which would be cool, given that we're in the middle of a chip shortage. I assume that would have affected GPU manufacture, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally off base. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Life is meaningless.
Prices of GPUs are also starting to go down, apparently.
The fucking blessing in disguise that's been the crypto crash means that people are no longer looking to just stock up on GPUs, which is good for literally everybody on the planet.
There is a few other things taking that into account, and it's that while shortages have been low, a lot of people have managed to get a card of some variety in there and are not willing to buy another one, especially that they know that in the later half of the year there will be a new card. So while stocks are still probably quite limited, there's less people buying them as well. So, makes sense.
All the better for me. So, next up on the list, we finally have word of a game that can knock Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl off of its high horse, Multiverses. We have a closed alpha test set to go for just over a week, starting today, actually, as of recording this, of course. Courtesy of Gematsu.
Fun facts, I got an email where they sent that I have been invited to the closed alpha. I just need to wait for a download code to come through.
You know what the beta code is?
How did you get that?
I signed up quite a few months ago. Like when the game was first announced, I signed up for a whenever they rolled out the alpha. But they've done 2 already, but those were US only. And now they're opening up across the world, and I got an email for my invite.
Do you know what the beta code is for this, Seth?
What is
that? The rollback netcode that's included.
Yeah, rollback, let's go.
There we go. Yeah, I'm super hyped for this game, and you know why? It's mostly because we get to hear their voices.
They also have good sound effects and music.
Yeah.
Implying we all aren't going to play it just to see Ultra Instinct Shaggy. I have no interest in this game, but that's all I want to see.
Okay, so a few things happened with Multiverses this week. First was the developers had a showcase which was badly handled because it's just pros versus devs. There's no explanation of the game or the mechanics or anything. You just watch 3 games back to back and you just got to try and figure out what's going on yourself as you're watching it. But they did say that Shaggy is the baseline for the character. Everyone's balanced around Shaggy.
which is a sentence in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So in a Street Fighter game, it's like, okay, Ryu is the baseline and everyone's developed around like what Ryu can do. That's Shaggy for this game. It's not Superman.
I love the idea that Shaggy is balanced. That Superman is balanced around 0.001% of Shaggy's true power.
And then staying on the Shaggy train, they also showed off the opening cinematic for the game, and it starts off with Batman in the Batcave. He gets teleported away, and the first person he runs into is Shaggy. Then
Ultra Instinct punches Bugs Bunny, by the way.
Yeah, I was getting to that.
Fucking excellent.
Arya Stark cuts Shaggy's sandwich in half.
Hang on. I'm sorry, that's supposed to be Arya Stark?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I had no idea who it was. I just assumed Aloy. I was like, whatever.
They also got her actress back to do the voice acting for her.
Oh my god.
But anyway, she cuts his sandwich in half, and that pisses off Shaggy so much he starts floating and turns Ultra Instincts, throws a punch, like at Arya Stark, mind you. So he would have just blown her head off with that punch, but she ducks out of the way, and he just decks Bugs Bunny right in the face.
And I'm honestly shocked that Bugs Bunny is still in the roster after surviving that.
Just removed from roster. That's the power. You can only play the game so long. If you Ultra Instinct someone to Shaggy, it like locks them out permanently.
But Bugs took the punch because he survives by Toon logic.
True.
Ah, yes, Toon
It was
the
close
ultimate
though.
card.
It was still touch and go. But yeah, no, there's been a lot of multiverses news. I'm absolutely here for it. This game looks amazing. It's also, I want to say it's been a while since we've had a fighter balanced, well, not necessarily balanced, but with the 2v2 mechanic in mind.
Yeah, you don't get many like actual tag games like this, especially like in the Smash scene. So
is it tag? Is it? It's not 2v2 at once?
It's 2v2 at once. So and some of the characters are built around assisting the other character. Like Wonder Woman has some moves that are designed around shielding her partner and teleporting right to them, which is an interesting way to approach the game. And I'm curious how that's going to play out.
2v2 also opens it up for podcast content.
It does, but that's
so who gets
a
to play with
discussion for
Seth?
later.
Because Seth will win, and I want to be on the winning team.
Well, you just throw yourself into the corner.
That's what I mean. Implying Seth doesn't just move out of the way and let Steve and I just beat you into the ground.
And then he comes in and wins 2v1.
now he will try.
I give them the free 0 stock lead, and then I clean up with Shaggy.
In one punch, you take out all 3 of their stock.
So, like you as Seth get inhabited by the spirit of Ultra Instinct Shaggy and also levitate, like playing the game.
I do like that their approach was, hey, Superman versus Goku is like something that people want, and we don't have the rights to Goku, so we're just going to use Shaggy.
also, on that note as well, I want to add, a lot of people are complaining about Iron Giant being in this game because
I'm so excited for Iron Giant.
Yeah, but everyone, there's a lot of people that are bitching about it because Iron Giant isn't meant to fight. He's a peace-loving robot, even though he's like a weapon of mass destruction. He's
also giant.
Yeah, also a giant. Like in the trailer shot, he's like head and shoulders above everyone else. But I'm just sitting here like, shut up, nerds. He's getting to team up with Superman. That's adorable.
Yeah, it's literally his dream. What do you mean? Don't crush his dreams. What the heck? He died for that little town.
Yeah, let him interact with Superman. It'll be adorable.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's one of the few films I will openly admit that I wept as a child at the ending of.
Yeah, me too. I didn't understand it at first. I was like, oh, he'll come back, right? Oh, man.
But just like my dad, he was gone. But yeah, no, I think that's probably all the multiverses news we have to share. Super excited for you, Seth. Hopefully you get the code and can report back as to exactly how much fun it is to remove someone from the roster via an Ultra Instinct Shaggy punch. Next up on the list.
I want to ask one question first to you guys.
Of course you do.
You think Shaggy will get Key Blasts like in Dragon Ball?
I don't think he does.
How sick would that be, though?
That would be pretty
awesome.
sick. He does get a Dragon Ball Z style aura, though.
He does get the aura. What if he just straight up Kamehamehas?
What do you mean?
Or
I just want
bombs?
him. I just want him to do the Sasuke chokehold, lifting the opponents off the ground, slamming them into a wall. You know what I mean?
Superman has that. He flies up to you, chokes you, and then just throws you straight into the pit.
Yeah, that's a big Superman thing. What if he does like the Rock Lee thing where he like teleports like behind them and does the slam?
I'm sorry, Scoop. I must use 1% of my power.
Please look away
Primary
for this.
Lotus activate. Oh my god. Okay, sorry, we can move on.
Yeah. So, speaking of things that have killed Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, they have announced DLC. This is an article courtesy of Gamatsu as well.
I still don't believe this is real.
It's so good. I love it.
So they have also embraced the meme game, and they have announced Jenny Jimmy Neutron's dad, and Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life.
So we have multiverses here, which is embracing Ultra Instinct's Shaggy. Now we got Nick All-Star Brawl and embracing Hugh Neutron, sending people to the Shadow Realm.
Shadow Realm. Yes.
What if his ultimate is like obviously the Shadow Realm thing, but he has like an ability with these, like the whole like I sat on a banana once and that changed my life. That gives it like a power up or something. Oh my god.
The problem is it the same knowing that he's going to send people to the Shadow Realm, Jimbo, but it won't be with his voice?
Yeah, it won't be voiced. What if he's the only character to have a voice line?
I would love that. All because his voice actor was actually super on board with Hugh Neutron being in the game as well.
Oh man, of all characters though, they're like Jimmy Neutron's dad. Like, when's Carl Weezer coming in? Like,
no, not even Carl Weezer. We have Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, right? You know what that means? It means that we need Timmy Turner's dad to fight the universal force that is Hugh Neutron.
No, we need Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Something I found out recently, by the way, is that Timmy Turner's dad was in a shit ton of Nickelodeon stuff. He's also the janitor from Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Yeah, he is.
He's a couple of other things, but he also like did the live action portrayal of Timmy Turner's dad in some live action stuff for Fairly Odd Parents.
No, there was live action stuff. How did they handle that? You know, this is something I don't want to know.
There was that absolutely horrifying crossover with the Jimmy Neutron universe where they did Fairly Odd Parents in the Jimmy Neutron 3D render style, which let's just say
Jimmy Neutron went over to 2D way better than Timmy Turner did in 3D.
Yeah.
Timmy Turner in 3D would have been wild.
But unfortunately, this is where Timmy Turner's dad's character in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl would go if we had one. So we're going to have to deal with Hugh Neutron instead. But I would say I'm very excited for this DLC. Would I play Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl? Probably not, because the lack of voices is just such a turn-off for me.
Also, terrible gameplay.
I want to throw in there that Jenny was someone I was really excited for to be in the game as well when this was first announced. So seeing her in the game is a big win for me.
I agree.
But she didn't translate to the game's art style well at all.
No.
I think she fits in okay, because the art style doesn't hold up in general.
Yeah, it's because they did that, like, that weird cheek bone spike that comes out of her face, like, from the show, and it just doesn't look good in 3D.
That's true. Whereas Rocky looks like something that I've suppressed in my memories. Rocco, sorry. It looks like something that I've completely suppressed in my memories, and like it's just some like horror nightmare feature. Like, he doesn't look like anything that should be on a children's show to me.
We don't have Courage the Cowardly Dog, do we?
No.
That's a damn shame.
That's a Cartoon Network thing. So
that would be in multiverses, if anything.
True. Oh, no, you're right. It is Cartoon Network.
God, that'd be excellent, actually.
Same era for me. Like Courage the Cowardly Dog and Rocco's Modern Life. So
they were, yeah.
Intermingling it a bit. But yeah, I mean, glad that they're in. Hugh Neutron translates perfectly.
Could you imagine instead of Courage we get Eustace in multiverses?
Oh. That's it. I'm getting me hammer.
We got to move on before we start devolving into more roster talk.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, I don't know. Will this make you guys come back to it?
No.
I never went into it.
I got it on Humble Bundle. I played it for 5 minutes. I uninstalled it, and that's where it'll live.
I played it a fair bit. It's just a shame that they released a bunch of absolutely game-breaking bugs. Which means that I can never play the campaign properly because I don't have a difficulty slider. But that's fine. Why would you release a stable game when you could, in fact, release Hugh Neutron to banish people to the Shadow Realm? So, you know, I see the logic.
If I had to choose one of the two, I know which one I'm choosing.
The DLC is already on Steam, by the way. The free characters cost $17 Australian.
That's more than I paid for the entire Humble Bundle.
Yep, same. Anyway, moving on. Next article we have is the Dead Space remake, which I am nervous for. This is courtesy of Gamatsu.
Yeah, I'm also nervous about this.
I'm nervous specifically because so many recent memory games that have been remakes or reimaginings or reinventions or doing anything
even just a remaster.
That's what I mean. All of those. Every time the studio says, It's so, like, I'm so glad that we got to do it. We are huge fans of the original, and they've always tried to put their own spin on it in some way, and it comes out worse as a result. It's so disappointing.
Yeah.
I'm just really hoping that they don't ruin the atmosphere of Dead Space, because that game's atmosphere was really creepy and fantastic.
It was the selling point.
Yeah, I was actually having like not like nightmares, but like as I was trying to fall asleep, I'd get the shivers from like imagining necromorphs and stuff. So,
you know, the other concerning part about this, just quickly, while we're talking about the game, the studio Motive. Do you guys know who they are?
No,
I've heard of Motive.
Okay, so their first game they ever did was Star Wars Battlefront 2. Just to put that in perspective, that was a shit show.
Wait, the good one or the bad one?
The bad one, the one like 5 years ago.
One.
Yeah. So that they killed. I mean, it's quite fun now, but they killed it. And then they did Squadrons, which also completely died.
Fine.
Squadron was fun, but no one played it because it was like unbalanced and not fun.
And people
it was
lost
like
faith
fun
in
for like
EA
a
Star
day.
Wars games after Battlefront 2.
Yeah. Okay, so that just going off that, I want that to be the tone of this article. To think about the live service shit that they shoved into that game that was once a classic. All right, let's continue.
I don't know if EA is like EA is a shit company, but I don't know if EA is the type of company to shove live service stuff into a single player remake.
Bro,
that sounds like a Ubisoft thing.
You saw SimCity, right? You had to be online to play that single player only game.
Like I said, EA is full of bad and shitty decisions, but I think this is one decision that they can probably avoid.
I don't have faith in it.
I'm just giving you the benefit of the doubt, EA. Prove me right.
I'm just disappointed. Well, okay. So first of all, we should say that we have a shipping date for this, January 27th, 2023. On the back of that, I will say I'm disappointed that we have a remake when we had the peak Isaac Clarke content, which was of course PlayStation All-Star Brawl.
Yeah, he was in that.
There we go. Voice acted as well, if I'm not mistaken.
He was voice acted in that game.
I don't know. I'm nervous. That's definitely a wait and see one for me, I think.
Yeah, I'll see what it looks like when it's closer to date. Hopefully they don't remove the original off Steam when the remake is coming up. That would be a really huge dick move if they did that.
Wouldn't be the first time EA's done that.
It wouldn't be the first time most game studios did that. I believe FromSoft did that with Dark Souls 1 as well.
That's even if it releases on Steam at all.
Activision Blizzard did that with Warcraft, didn't they?
Kind of. They patched it so that you had to use the new sort of launcher thing that broke the game.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. So they effectively made it unplayable instead. This might not even come to Steam at all, though. This could like straight up just be an EA desktop application exclusive. God, I hate that they named it that.
I think EA releases all their games on Steam still because people don't want to use their thing. And
I think they backtracked a little while ago, but I don't know if it's still that way. I don't know if every game comes to it.
I bought, so this is still a while ago, but I bought the Star Wars game we just mentioned before. Fallen Order.
Oh, Fallen Order, yeah.
I bought that on Steam, and even though I installed it through Steam and everything, it still opens the EA launcher anyway. So I think that's just their way around it. Like, they put things on Steam, but it'll still do the EA launcher after anyway.
Yeah, that's true. They did that. They did that with Burnout, I'm pretty sure as well, or a few other games that I saw on Steam and went, oh, sweet, they're doing it on Steam, and then they were like, psych.
Yeah,
even if you
That's when Hugh Neutron showed up and said, we're banishing you to Origin.
Yeah.
Even if you load the Xbox app on PC and play a Game Pass game that you have access to that you could buy through the Xbox store, it makes you install like a cut down version of the application of the new one, but it makes you install the beta as well. It doesn't always work. And then once you run that beta and run the game, it'll launch. then launch Origin, then go back to Xbox and say, "Do you authorize this game to play it?" Like to play it, and then you go yes, and then it cuts back to the game, and it's like half the time it's like Origin isn't running, and the other EA desktop application isn't running, and the other half of the time it loads up the game and goes, "Are you sure you're subscribed?" You're like, "Yes, let me into the game."
Awful.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see with Dead Space. But speaking of murdering games, a different sort of murdering game. This one, we have the people that made Dead by Daylight doing a dating simulator with in the same universe, which, nice.
That's such a strange take on the series, isn't it?
And surprisingly, the artwork is fantastic as well.
It's so good. This article also courtesy of Kotaku. Yeah, this one appears to be a dating sim. There is some concept artwork for the different sorts of Dead by Daylight characters. I'm actually more kind of on board with this. I love it when there's kind of like, so this is designed to be a spin-off, but I love it when there's enough kind of community momentum to make what would otherwise be a fan game, but just actually done by the developers.
I also want to point out that the name is fantastic. This is a weird trend I'm noticing lately with horror things having fantastic names, but this one is called Hooked on You.
It's excellent.
That's so good. It's
so good. The artwork, the way that they changed the concept up, the way that they changed like the dynamic and the way that they're all the original characters from the game. Like, there's none of the like Jason and stuff like that. But like,
yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah, which makes sense. The artwork, very particularly for the Spirit and the Wraith, are so insanely different to what they look like in the game, but it works so well.
The Huntress might as well be a different character with her one as well.
That's true, actually. All of them are very drastically different, but the one that gets me the most is the Spirit.
And all I can say is it's an improvement.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that this article in particular, like you scroll down the list and it's like, so the first one, so the Trapper says hunky, the Huntress says mummy, the Wraith says flirty, and the Spirit just says wifey. What an excellent article.
Yeah. I don't know that there's a huge amount more that we can add to this. Thank you to the community for pushing for something that I didn't know I really, really wanted. Thank you to the dev team for deciding that this could possibly be a good idea. Yeah.
It's
really
also apparently coming in summer. No hard release date, just coming this summer.
Hot. Anyway, thank you for that. Well, I guess not really. Thank you. That's what we're going to speak on that one. Next one. This one I have less of a basis for. MiHoYo announcing a fantasy action RPG urban setting type thing. I don't know very much about this. Who does?
It's something me and Josh are super keen on. Josh will be able to talk more about like MiHoYo stuff since he plays a lot of Genshin. But this game like speaks to me in spades. Like the trailer they put out was incredibly.
As in, you'll need to get spayed from playing this, or
more like it's just dug out everything from deep inside my brain that it's like, yes, he enjoys this, he enjoys this, he enjoys this. Now let's put it all together and make a game specifically tailored to me.
Should we tell us what the game's actually called first? It's called Zenless Zone Zero.
Yes.
And it's coming to PC and smartphone, although on the beta sign up it only mentions Apple stuff. So possibly Android ?
Maybe, but it also asks you if you play on consoles, so maybe they'll do console ports later down the line.
And just like Genshin, it will never come to the Switch, even though they say it will.
What do you mean? Do you guys not have phones?
I do, but
we'll take it from here.
Is this an out-of-date April Fool's joke?
Nice.
You guys tell me. I know nothing about this. This article also courtesy Ikamatsu, but please continue. So why is it that you're excited for this?
It's just a lot of different elements combined together that like just it's hitting all the right notes for me. Like the character designs are fantastic. It looks like it's very much heavy on action style gameplay. The graphical quality and art style in general is fantastic as well. It's like very bright, colorful, kind of cel shady. And the music in the trailer and on the website are absolutely fantastic. It's just
So good.
hitting all the right notes for me, and a lot of the animation and stuff have a lot of personality to them. A lot of the characters' facial animations, like there's a character who's wearing a mask, and all his facial expressions are just through his eyes that you can see, and they're done so well. It's just looking really fantastic on all sorts of elements, and also there's a giant bear wearing a suit.
I'm in.
There's a literal cat girl.
There's also a little cat girl, yeah, that does cat-like movements. Yeah, this looks like a more action game from what I'm not 100% sure, but apparently it's going to be like a roguelite or roguelike game, but where you're going through like arenas, doing the action stuff, just killing a lot of enemies to collect resources for the world to continue on the story. Which is fine, as I'd prefer more of like a linear sort of thing, but since this will probably be like a long-running live service game, making it an arena sort of game makes more sense than adding a bunch of levels. And I think Honkai Impact already hits that point of running through levels with action gameplay, so this will be something a little different from that.
Yeah, I think the takeaway that I took from it, I mean, first of all, yeah, I absolutely love the art style. I love that it's basically just dystopian cyberpunk in just Metropolis. It looks awesome. But the combat looked a lot more like pretty much like Honkai Impact combat, really, than the combo-y sort of combat of Genshin. Yeah, which is really good.
It's looking a little character action-ish to me, like a Devil May Cry or something.
Yeah, that's honestly the impression I got, and I wasn't upset, surprisingly, despite not liking those games. But I looked at it, it looks fun, and I just didn't want it to be, hey, we're doing Genshin in a new setting. I want them to release a new IP that is its own idea and can be its own thing, because I really liked Genshin. I still like Genshin, but I don't want to play a cyberpunk version of it. I would rather just play a new IP that has its own thoughts and ideas. Like, I don't want it to be a one-hit wonder thing.
Right. Yeah, and miHoYo seems pretty good about doing that as well, like making all their games like different things. I think the big takeaway for me of like what I really enjoy about this is like it looks like a really good mix between Jet Set Radio and Devil May Cry. I don't know how much of our audience and listener base will understand that, but that's something incredibly like specific to my taste, because the music is like high energy, just high energy mixes that you'd get from like a Jet Set Radio game. It's got all like the character action movesets of Devil May Cry. Like one of the characters just looks like he's using a lot of what Dante would do with two guns. And yeah, I don't know what else I can say besides just because all we've seen for it so far is a cinematic trailer with little bits of like what I would call like super attacks, like cinematic attacks. So there's not a whole lot to go off of what the main loop of the gameplay would be.
It's probably worth. This is directly from the website, so verbatim it says, besides the engaging story, this 3D animated title features a fluid cinematic action combat system. While fighting Ethereal, players can take control of different characters to unleash electrifying skills and unlimited QTE combos. The game also has developed a roguelike gameplay mechanism that awaits exploration. So, definitely roguelike, definitely swapping characters like Genshin-esque, but I don't think they're going to be playing off elements per se, just almost the sort of like juggling sort of fighter combos that Devil May Cry sort of leans into. And considering some of the questions they were asking on the surveys, it seems like they're wanting players that like those kind of games, so that would make sense.
Yeah, one of the questions was like, what do you look for in a game? And some of the answers I put in was like, I like tight controls and I like difficulty in like mechanics.
Whoa, maybe they did build this game for you.
Not the survey, not so much. The survey asked like a wide range of questions.
It did. Although it also made me realize just how much time I spend playing games, and I'm not happy about that.
Any closing thoughts on this from you two?
Very excited. I've already signed up for the beta.
I've also signed up for the beta. I just think that my closing thoughts are that the music is absolutely incredible. The art style is absolutely incredible. And if it's something like Genshin, I look forward to dumping another 300 hours into it at minimum.
But how much money?
Well,
I don't know. Probably too much.
Well, moving from bannable weeb shit to other bannable weeb shit, Final Fantasy VII has some news. I'm kidding, of course, but we have some news about Final Fantasy VII.
Joking about the bannable or joking about the weeb?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. We have some Final Fantasy VII news set for June as part of some 25th anniversary. Big question, is this going to be the announcement of Remake Part 2? Because, of course, we've only had the Remake Part 1 so far, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. God, I think the last time we did a guest like this, it was for the Kingdom Hearts one, and I very actively went, I'd like Kingdom Hearts 4 to show up, but I don't think it will. And then they did blow me out of the water with a Kingdom Hearts 4 announcement.
Not only with a Kingdom Hearts 4 announcement, but with an entire, what was it, like apartment setting?
Yeah, an apartment based in Japan that people immediately dock Sora for.
Yeah, which is insane.
Right.
It even got his model of couch.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Anyway.
So you
They also tracked down how much rent he'd be paying.
Jeez, that's fucked.
It's a real 4chan moment right there.
But yeah, God, there's mobile stuff that they've already announced that needs information shown for Final Fantasy VII. Like, there's that game that hasn't come out yet called Ever Crisis, which is a mobile remake of events between the whole, like, original Final Fantasy VII timeline. So, like, you'll get moments from Crisis Core, the original game, Advent Children, and Dirge of Cerberus as well. So they'll be covering a lot of stuff between those games.
Did they ever release that terrible-looking Battle Royale mobile game? They did?
Apparently
Okay,
it's
so it won't be that
fantastic.
then. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, it won't be news on that either way.
It's just a shame that it's on mobile.
Yeah, I wouldn't play it anyway. But yeah. Cool. All right, so
yeah,
maybe it'll just be the remake part 2?
Yeah, it could be... I'd like Remake Part 2 to show up there. I think they'll talk about that other mobile game that I was just mentioning that isn't out yet. They might do, like, information update on the Battle Royale as well. Like, they've been doing seasons for that, and they'll probably show off, like, maybe a major update for that.
So the big question is, will we be able to dox Cloud's apartment and model of couch and amount of rent paid?
No, because Midgar
we found Tifa.
Actually...
She's in Italy.
She's on the Senate.
In the Italian Senate, right? Or in the Italian Parliament or something? Fuck, that was good.
So good. Anyway, sorry, continue.
We won't dox Cloud because they live in a fictional planet.
So did Sora.
Yeah, so did Sora, exactly.
I can't talk about that because Steve will get spoiled.
Steve doesn't listen to this. Anyway, fair enough.
He will be. Shakes fist. Steve, when you listen to this back, you message the podcast chat to tell us that you listened to it. All right.
That's how we'll know. Yeah, anyway, that's all we have to say on that. So, moving from good news to bad news. Why do we make these the last stories? Really ending on a buzzkill. Anyway,
because they're usually the biggest ones to talk about.
The first slice of the shit sandwich today, we have Activision. So, let me put a situation to you guys. So close your eyes. Woo, magical thought bubble forming. So you are Bobby Kotick. You run Activision.
Oh God,
Blizzard.
no! Please make it end.
Where's that gun?
Inexplicably, you aren't in prison yet. However, you decide, man, Activision Blizzard, not doing too well on the diversity front. Do you A, hire people that are more diverse, or B, release some shitty tool to rate things on a diverse scale?
Which is problematic in itself. But anyway.
Well, congratulations, Seth. You could, in fact, run Activision Blizzard because that is the correct answer.
Yay! I mean, what?
This is an article courtesy of Fanbyte. So this started with, was it it was like tweets, right? It was like tweets about like, hey, Activision Blizzard is using this tool. And then Activision Blizzard themselves came out and said, hey, we have this tool. And everyone went, no, you are the tool. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, what on earth are you talking about? Are you insane? Yeah.
Yeah, they did like, I'm not sure what came first, but there was an entire blog post Activision put out with like screenshots of how the tool worked and stuff, which has all been removed now because they got so much pushback against it that they edited that blog post, put in like an apology, and removed all mention of it.
I never understand how, like, because this isn't the sort of thing, like, I imagine a company like Activision Blizzard is big enough that you can't just have some intern writing a blog post and hitting publish. This has to go through multiple people of, hey, should we publish this? And it's shocking to me that at no point it seems that anyone go, hey, maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah, what you're misunderstanding is the boys club culture that goes on in Blizzard to start with that doesn't understand any of this.
From what I understand, this is a tool that King developed, and
yes, King, the mobile game billionaire company.
Yeah, and I think they've had this tool since like 2016 or something, and I don't think it was ever meant to like be released to the public from their end. But they made it as like a tool within the company to do like a diversity check on characters and stuff.
Please tell me King isn't the people that did Candy Crush.
They are.
It is, yes. Yeah.
Did they rate the diversity of the candies?
Yes.
Did they score well?
I don't know. Actually, funny thing about that, I want to talk about. I was listening to another podcast earlier today, and they were talking about this diversity tool, and it somehow one of them. So there's two people. There's one guy is a black guy, and the other guy is a short ginger midget.
And they walk into a bar.
And the short ginger guy got more diversity points than the black man.
Which, like, if you'd heard this guy speak, because I know the guy you're talking about, he should not be that high.
Apparently for his points, he got points for A, being ginger, B, being short, and C, being overweight. While the other guy, the only points he got was being black.
Oh, how dare he be oppressed institutionalized rather than just because people find it funny.
I love the idea that we have this diversity tool that just confirms that black people are marginalized. Oh my god, that's incredible. Do you think that they ran
one
this
of
tool
a hugely
and
profitable company? It's the worst part.
Yeah, let me get the one screenshot I found because there's some things that are telling from this. I'm
just picturing a screenshot of Atrioc playing any Hitman run where he's in the clown suit.
So the points go up to 10. So Ana, for example, from Overwatch. Apparently, I also want to point out that Blizzard has gone on record to say they didn't use this tool when making Overwatch 1 characters, but they did. They probably are for Overwatch 2 when you start digging into it. But anyway, Ana gets like 7 points for being Egyptian culture because apparently that doesn't show up in video games much. She gets 7 points for being Arab. 7 points for being the age of 60. Apparently being like the age of 20 is 0 points. And then every 10 years up from that is 1 point or so.
What if you're below 20?
Wait, so if you
what does Ellie get?
I don't know. I think it starts going up again anyway.
Right.
So in order to get 10 points on age, you'd have to be 120 years old?
I'd assume so, yeah. Her physical ability is rated 4 because she has one eye. Because she's slim and curvy, she gets 0 points for body type.
Wait. She gets 4 points because she has... If she had 2 eyes, would she get 8?
No. She would get 0 if she had 2 eyes.
Yeah, two eyes would be 0 points because it's like physical ability is, I think, like disability maybe, like enhancements or anything like that. Being middle class is 0 points. Being heterosexual is 0 points. Being a woman on gender identity is 5 points.
Hey.
Well, at least the women get something and not equal pay in Blizzard.
And I also want to point out on this.
Imagine that you murder Ana in Overwatch, and then you drop the "have fun being middle class" on the way out.
Oh my god.
Also on this list, which is a very telling thing for like the internals of how Activision works, a character that was renamed recently is still named McCree here.
Oh my god.
I forget what his new name is, but internally they're still referring to him as McCree.
I forgot his new name as well. I don't really care.
I think it's something Cassidy.
Butch
It
Cassidy.
can't be Butch. Yeah, no, it can't be Butch.
No, they get sued.
But yeah, God, that diversity chart has been a big punch down tool for at Activision recently. It's really bad and hilarious.
The real question, Seth, what did you score out of 10?
Well, I'm part Arab, so I'd probably get 7 points right off the bat for culture.
All right, Josh would get negative.
I get some for being bi. I don't know about the rest. I'm white male, so negative for that.
I think it's just zeros for that, not negative.
I don't know then. I don't know.
I'd make sure Josh gets negative.
I don't. What would you get, Patrick?
Oh, I think I'd be pretty close to 0.
Yeah.
I think the baseline for a 0 was like every 7th gen character that was out, like Commander Shepard and anyone that looks like him. Cole
Joel.
McGrath.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is the most diverse thing on the Citadel.
Oh shit!
I love that. I love that. I as a
Commander Shepard yourself.
Yeah, as a command. as someone who may refer to themselves
Willem Dafoe
as
intensifies.
I'm somewhat of a Commander Shepard myself. Yeah, it's true. When I walk into a bar and someone goes, "Oh, Commander Shepard," I'm like, "Yes, Commander Shepard." I do enjoy that on this scale, I'd be scoring pretty close to 0, which means that it would be a perfect score in the white man's game known as golf, which just feels like a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point. So,
I'm sorry, but golf, you want to get into the negatives. You want to get those birdies
Josh,
and eagles.
You've finally won something.
Yay! Was it for my bad takes?
Unfortunately, no. It was because you're too white.
I can't believe anyone thought this was a good idea.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can say on this because it's ridiculous as a concept, and it's even more ridiculous that it exists.
So from my understanding, King was just using this internally, and Activision decided to go, no, we're proud of this. Let's make it public. We want to start letting other people use this tool.
That's exactly what I mean, because it sounded when the news of this first broke, it sounded like there is this internal tool at Activision Blizzard that has been leaked. It measures diversity. This is a terrible tool that they've leaked. And then Activision Blizzard goes, "So for today, for show and tell."
Yeah, they're like, this will score us some points.
The macrame art known as my diversity checker.
They're like, see, we treat the women's fairly. Look at this chart we made. Fucking Blizzard. Oh my god. Incredible, honestly.
I appreciate that the last few bad Activision articles we've gotten to talk about was us laughing at them rather than being sad.
I mean, I'm still sad that this is a thing, but it's like, it's funny in like a horrible dystopian capitalist way.
I love the idea that somewhere there's like some absolutely like just fucking shit-eating manager that has like a female employee come up to him and say, "Hey, I'm really tired of being sexually harassed at work." And the manager just looks at the diversity chart and looks back at her and then says, "So you're saying the character should be black, or like I don't know what you want from me? Like, what do you want to do here?"
They hold out the color chart from Family Guy.
Yeah.
No, they hold out the difficulty chart from South Park. Not Stick of Truth. Fractured Butthole.
Oh god.
Oh my god. What would be even funnier is that like there's probably a manager who's used that chart, right? So like so that situation exists. The girl walks up to them, goes, "Oh, I feel like I deserve a raise. My employees, like my colleagues, are being paid the same." And they're like, "Well, you're a 5 on the women's scale, but you're white, so you're a 0. So you can have a little bit of a raise, but you can't be paid as much as the men. You know, like You're not diverse enough. Sorry.
But we can compromise. We can
No,
compromise. The
she's
next
too
character you work
diverse.
on,
She's
we'll
too
make them bi.
diverse. The closer to zero you are, the more better you get paid.
Which is why Bobby Kotick is the
That's
CEO.
what I mean. That's what I mean. The question is Bobby Kotick a perfect zero?
Yeah, I imagine so.
I don't know. Surely you're going to
check it
get
out.
diversity points for being such a shithead. Like,
Check it out.
how can you
This
be
is-
so
this is what-
actively hated?
This is what peak anti-diversity looks like. You may not like it, but it's true.
No, see, Bobby Kotick is what happens when you actually get a perfect zero, which is why there's so much backlash against him.
Do you reckon the chart's designed after that fucking Scientology thing with like the like theremin reader or whatever, and they're like, oh, we've never seen a reading like this before. And it's fucking Bobby Kotick on the other side of it. Like, you've scored a perfect zero. I need to get my supervisor in here. You might
You
be
won't
the
believe
chosen
this.
one.
Should we move on to shitting onto another company now?
Yeah, we should,
This
we
one
should, we
actually
should.
makes me sad.
Yeah, this one makes me sad as well.
And
And
finally,
angry.
the icing on the shit sandwich cake. That sentence makes sense. Don't think about it. Is that Insomniac? Well, I'm just gonna give you the headline. Insomniac fought hard and did not win an argument with Sony to publicly support abortion rights. And this is an article brought to us by PC Gamer. And this is shitty. So I do want to preface this with
This is going to be in
there's, like,
two parts a little bit because there's an article here we missed before because, I don't know, I just didn't know this happened until now.
The little bit of preamble I'll give to this is that I'm not hugely surprised by this news because there is a PR
either.
firm.
Because
in-
Jim Ryan is also a zero.
Okay. Fair.
This is going to be an ongoing thing. I love it.
Oh yeah, no, like as soon as Steve comes back, hey Zero, how's it going? No, the little preamble that I want to give to this that it doesn't mention in the article is that there was a big thing about one of the PR firms that a lot of these large companies use for their public relations. Released in I think it was a leaked memo that it would be better for PR not to come out with an opinion in the Roe v. Wade situation because of how divisive it would be to the other group. So I'm not surprised. So I'm not surprised that a large group like Sony. I don't know if they're part of that PR firm or not, and I don't even remember the name of that PR firm. But there was one that had like a lot of large companies attached to it that said, "Hey, don't release a public statement on Roe v. Wade until it kind of settles down and SCOTUS comes to its decision." All that. So I'm not surprised that Sony is kind of following in what seems like a similar kind of suit. But
Okay, so
I'll let you talk to this a bit more. So.
It wasn't a PR firm for Sony. It was the head of PlayStation itself sending out an email to basically every studio and every employee in the PlayStation brand going, hey, let's respect differences of opinions on abortion rights and let's not like make public outcry for the
Roe versus Wade.
Roe versus
Yeah.
Wade. Yes, thank you. Let's not make any public outcries against it or anything like that. And then spent the next 5 paragraphs talking about his cat's birthday for some reason. And yeah, that didn't go well with Sony employees to the
Is
point
the cat
where
also a zero?
the cat, I don't know. Anyway, Insomniac not like making it public so much, but internally they were going to donate $50,000 to women's reproductive rights assistance projects, and Sony itself was going to match that $50,000 for a total of a $100,000 donation, and Insomniac was going to do other little things to help like employees within the studio if they need like cross borders or anything for abortions or anything like that. That ended up becoming public, and I don't know how it's become public because it sounds like all this stuff kind of leaked. But the president of Insomniac, Ted Price, said that he sent an email to Sony about wanting to be public and like making these things known, and Sony just shut him down completely. And Insomniac wants to be public and supports women's rights, but overall, like the PlayStation brand is too big and they can't because like they're not if they do anything against Sony's will, then it'll be they'll get huge negative repercussions against their company.
Which is a shame, and I don't know. Like, it's the classic case of like, do we do what is widely considered to be the right thing, and that I consider to be the right thing, and do anything that makes sense to me, or do we try and maximize profits? And they chose profits, and that's what's sad. Especially when they're obviously actively supporting, giving money to like this charity, and then they won't speak about it for fear of losing money. I don't know, just giving with one hand and biting with the other.
There's clearly some level of support. Like, Insomniac will put into a charity, and Sony will be like, yeah, that's good, we'll match your donation. So clearly on some level there's a support system going on there, but old man Jim Ryan and all his whiteness is just like, yeah, don't say anything publicly, otherwise it'll be bad news for the company.
Particularly the wording on respecting differences of opinion when it comes to healthcare just shows that he doesn't understand. Like, truly. Anyway, it's just sad.
I just feel like Jim Ryan needs to go.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Like, I don't want to make it sound like I'm making a big deal about his opinions on old games, but this, like, it's been like, he seems out of the loop on what PlayStation does or what PlayStation should do, and now he's come out and said this, and trying to keep things under wrap about like something that's a huge issue right now. Is like, this man is clearly not a good leader and shouldn't be in the position that he's in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's really all I can really say about it without getting too political. But that's it's just sad. I don't know, especially seeing the pressure of no, like, but
the pressure
not
being
being
put
able
on
to do what they like as well
sucks.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. On the other hand, Jim Ryan is a perfect zero name.
It really is.
All right. Well, we have anything that we could finish on a happier note, or?
We got an audience question.
We do have an audience
That's
question.
true.
Or to brighten up the real tail end of the news, though, one last thing that I want to toss in there. We have a couple of trailers for some Sunbreak changes coming to weapons for Monster Hunter Rise.
We do, yes.
So
how is this not in the list?
Because they haven't finished them. I would have wanted to talk about them when they were all done.
Yeah, that's kind of... I just feel like we need a palate cleanse after that disgusting shit cake of a sandwich. But we've seen Insect Glaive, Switch Axe, and Heavy Bowgun. I think those are the only three that they've released.
No, Hunting Horn
released
released
more
about
today.
12 hours ago, yeah.
Oh, shoot, okay.
We also have Hammer, we have Great Sword.
Cool. Well,
we have Hunting Horn as well.
Yeah,
let's not discuss them in too much detail, but 15 seconds. Josh, what's the favorite thing that you've seen in a trailer?
I don't have a favorite.
Okay,
I can't give you a 15
not
second.
Helpful. Seth.
Shit.
Okay, fine. I'll go first while you think of it.
I had an answer. I have an answer.
Why would you cliffhanger it?
I didn't. I was just like, shit, as I was thinking, and I was like, okay, I got an answer. It's probably for the Insect Glaive, where while you're in the air, you just like fly forward with the glaive and just kind of ram the spike into the monsters.
So
that does look very cool.
Mine was also the Insect Glaive, but it was the strong Kinsect Yeet.
Yeah, the awakened Kinsect attack. I was looking at that as well, and I was like, more knockout damage?
Because that harkens back to, it's either 4 Ultimate or World. I think it was 4 Ultimate, because I think they removed it in World, but the ability to charge up Kinsect attacks. Many great memories of charging up a Kinsect attack, and if it does cutting damage, severing a tail, or if it does impact damage, just fucking knocking it out. It's basically like lobbing a brick at a monster. It's so good.
Do you have a least favorite?
I haven't seen all of them yet, so I don't want to comment on that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's only of the ones that I've seen, and I also haven't seen all of them yet. My least favorite one, I think, would be one of the Switch Axe ones looked like a regular Switch Axe attack. I don't know. It didn't seem that stellar. It was some sort of discharge, I think.
Mine
I'm not
is
super on board.
mine is the hammer because one of its changes just the same attack, but they change the end animation. I think.
Okay.
I like.
Why?
It's even the same name. It's the one's called the spinning bludgeon. The other one's called splitting bludgeon charge.
Huh. That seems lazy. Oh well, that's a shame.
The hammer just got. You can smack things harder the same way you did before. It's kind of disappointing.
So we tried to finish this on a nice note, but we said what was Lily's favorite. So now we're back to needing to finish on a nice note. Pokemon Home finally getting an update for. I'm just fucking pulling stuff out of my ass. None of this is on the news docket. I'm going off the rails. Pokemon Home finally got an update where we now have a staggered rollout for people that want to transfer things between. What is it? Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Sword and Shield, Pokemon Go, Legends Arceus, and what am I missing? I'm missing one. Am I missing one? I feel like I'm missing one.
No, Pokebank's dead. What were the ones that you said, sorry?
Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl.
Yeah.
Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, yeah. Arceus, yes.
Sword and Shield?
Pokemon Go, yes.
Pokemon Go, yeah. And Sword and Shield, yeah.
It was
okay,
Sword and Shield.
cool.
It was Sword and Shield.
I thought, like, you said Sword and Shield, and I was like, no, I'm pretty sure that's all of them.
Yeah, I thought you said Sword and Shield as well. I guess I'll listen back on edit.
Thanks. Why can't we just end on a happy note? No,
if it's not there, can we edit it in so that he's wrong anyway?
I think 2.0 is already out on mobile at the moment for Pokemon Home. I saw something pop up about it on the App Store.
Anyway, before anyone can derail us into bad news, we're going to leave it there. Good news. Hooray, we made it to the end of the news section. Right, so now we get to move on to the audience question. And the audience question for this week, sent in by John Halo? The man
Congrats on losing your virginity, John Halo.
Yes, straight after his raunchy sex scene, courtesy of Paramount.
He took a giant swig of orange juice and then sent us this question.
John Halo
drink
asks,
the Kool-Aid, kids.
If you could go into any game universe, what would it be?
I have an answer, but I'll let Josh go first.
No, you go first.
Okay, because mine's pretty fucking obvious. I'd go into Pokemon.
Really? I honestly thought you'd say Kingdom Hearts.
I was thinking Kingdom Hearts too, actually.
No, Kingdom Hearts isn't something where like just anyone can do the things that are in it. You got to like be a special somebody.
I mean, you'd be a Disney character of some kind. So.
Yeah, but that's not as fun as like being a Keyblade wielder. But not everyone gets to be a Keyblade wielder unless you're a named character.
There are so many Keyblade wielder.
There are, but you got to be like someone of importance. But meanwhile, in Pokemon, anyone gets to be a Pokemon trainer.
So you were like, I want to be special, so I want to enslave animals.
Yes, I want to do digital cockfighting.
Oh my god. Do you have one, Patrick? I'm still thinking.
I was about to just blurt out Monster Hunter, and the reason I say that is because no one ever dies in Monster Hunter. You only ever faint.
That is true.
And then the cats come and save you.
But the thing is, it doesn't seem like a fun existence.
Yeah, no, not like Pokemon where you just get to bond and train Pokemon all the time.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to walk back on that one. I also thought about Nintendogs for some reason, but I don't think we ever see people in that, so I don't know what that would mean for what I would be in Nintendogs world.
At the festival things where like they do the tournaments, they're like in the background when you're throwing frisbees and stuff, I think.
I also like how that answer is just real life, but I get to train dogs. Which, something that obviously doesn't exist in the real world.
No,
look, mate,
true.
You know how expensive dogs are and how much rent is?
Hey, Seth, what if I told you that video games only appeal to the male fantasy?
Boy, do I have something bad news for the women that are a 5 on the diversity chart.
Oh my
god. Okay. So I think for me, there's the what I really want to inhabit, just like I would love to live in that universe, and the universe that I think I would actually survive in. Yeah, survive in and do well in. And the reason I say that is because the universe that I most want to inhabit is the Mass Effect universe. But I know that the world ends in my choice of flavor at the end of the third game, and that there is no fourth game, although the fourth game might be coming soon. But I love the universe of Mass Effect.
BioWare keeps saying that. There's no proof yet.
It's true. but I'm a huge fan of the Mass Effect series. So I think that's the game universe that I would want to inhabit. But ideally, I don't get slaughtered in the genocide of an entire like galactic cycle. So I don't know, little bit of pro and con on there. I'll have to think about the one that I think I'd actually like be able to live out in. I feel like Age of Empires is out for that same reason. Josh, what about you?
I got a few different answers, but I'm not sure which one I would pick. Somewhat strangely, the very first answer to me that popped into my head first was Rocket League would be sick. And then I thought about how many times I explode in an average match of Rocket League.
or do you want to be one of those eggs that watches the game from the sideline?
Perfect. If I could be an egg in anything other than my current egg existence, then that would be an improvement.
10 out of 10.
What if you're a Pokemon egg?
A Pokemon egg, then I'd have to hatch and then I'd have to continue my existence. Which brings me to my second one.
I'll be kind. You can be a Togepi, the egg Pokemon.
Hey.
I'd love Togekiss is my favorite Pokemon, so no, I wouldn't do Last of Us. That's terrifying.
Dawnstone, bro. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no. Togekiss is still kind of cute.
Let's force Josh into being in the Uncharted world.
No.
Every day he relives the existence of the truck crashing down the alleyway behind him.
Fine, if you're not going to be in the Uncharted one, then you have to be in Balan Wonderworld 4 times.
I deserve all of this. No, my second thought was also Monster Hunter, and then I was like, yeah, I thought about like literally my first thought wasn't the other scary monsters, it was just Anjanath, and I was like, no.
Devil Joe.
Like, not only is it a dinosaur, but it basically has wings and can breathe fire in a huge straight line. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Then I thought Nier Automata would be very good because there are no humans. Although, yeah, plus you run into 2B models occasionally, yeah. But I think
you just get to be a random Greek in the God of War world. So
basically this world, but like 1,000 years in the past.
Yeah, but Kratos comes up to you, stabs you for health.
Nice. What if I'm just one of the women from the PSP game at the start of the game?
You inhabit God of War as Kratos. That way you have someone that comes up and hugs you.
That's too real, man. Too real.
But then you got to push your daughter away.
Oh my god, I have my answer. Josh, I'll let you finish. I have my answer.
I think... No, all right, you go. I'll give this a little bit more thought.
Patrick, would inhabit the universe of Spore.
Oh my god.
Think about it. I would go from the
Become
protozoa...
the perfect being.
Yeah, the protozoa swimming in the amniotic sac of early Precambrian? Shit, I used to know the...
Cambrian, I think is the right one.
I think it is the Precambrian explosion. I'd go from the little protozoa straight into the what seems like a really, really dumbed down version of World of Warcraft in the creature stage. Find a bunch of people that look like identical clones of me through the tribal stage.
Eat them.
Relive my fantasies of Dune by becoming a spice master through the civilization stage, and then finally colonizing the galaxy with the help of those weird little red things that live near the center of the galaxy. I want to say Grox? Grogs?
No idea.
The Grok Empire?
It's been so fucking long since I played Spore, dude.
I'm going to ruin this by saying I don't know how well this is going to land with you guys, but instead of Spore, I'm forcing Patrick to go into the world of Seaman.
I have no idea what that is, but it sounds wrong.
Let me send a picture of
it. It is Grox. Boom. There we go. Match made in heaven. Basically fate.
I will put this up if I'm reminded for the video podcast. But Seaman was a virtual pet game on the Dreamcast, and this was the pet.
Oh, good god. Oh, good god. That is horrifying.
Hey, all I'm saying is that let's be real. Let's be real. One fish to another, that improves my diversity score immensely. So I'm not against it. You know what I mean?
All right, I have my answer. So I'll do the Patrick one. The one that I would want to be in, but I don't think I would survive in. Final Fantasy XIII's world.
Is that because you'd turn off the game?
Basically, everyone dies. Like, and I love Final Fantasy XIII. So
no. Not true. Lightning ends up in France.
Which of course we know is Gen 6 Pokemon. So there we go, crossover between Seth and Josh. Sorry, Seth, you're not getting rid of him that easy.
Sorry, I choose to be in Unova, not Kalos.
Oh my god, imagine choosing to be in Unova. The game that I would happily live in and think I would survive, which both of these just show how much of a weeb I am. Dragon Quest, specifically 11.
I thought you were going to say
Dragon Quest would be
Impact.
a pretty comfy world to live in.
Genshin Impact would also be very good. So, did you say it would be a comfy world to live in, Dragon Quest?
Yeah.
Yeah, and imagine like seeing a slime and being like, "Look at you, like, you're so fucking cute."
And
I just
it
want
kills
it as a
you.
pet. I mean, it could try, but I just hug it. It's so cute. Like
You're a Genshin Impact character, but you live your life inside a box until someone rolls like a 1% chance out of a loot box.
then if they don't roll that 1%, you're stuck there forever.
Yeah, you're stuck there forever, and then when you
Another
finally
clone
come
of
out,
you is formed.
because of the terrible like size of box that they kept you in, your posture is just shot. Like you just walk around slumped everywhere.
I'm gonna steal from Patrick's category of "this is just a real world." What are you saying? The Yakuza games.
Yeah, nice.
Yakuza games, as long as you're playing as like Kiryu
Or Majima.
or Majima, yeah.
It's just I want to sing karaoke and then it just turns into a music video.
What if you got dumped into like Vermintide?
What if you were dumped into what's the guy's Getting Over It?
Bennett Foddy.
What?
Bennett Foddy.
Yeah.
Oh man, that shit, no way.
Just a man in a pot wanting to climb.
Oh, what if you got dumped into the world of Mount Your Friends?
I'm looking at my game shelf right now, and I'm just thinking how horrible it would be to be in the Bloodborne world.
Why? Because Josh would never play you?
Yeah. Dragon Ball Fighter Z would be cool because it's just Dragon Ball. I don't know if that counts. It's an anime.
I feel like
Dragon Ball.
Just get
Dragon
hurt.
Ball for me lines up in the same way that that Kingdom Hearts does. In like you got to be someone important because otherwise you're just sit there as a background character in a fantastic world where you're just a civilian that doesn't do anything.
But wouldn't it be sick to just watch all that shit? It'd be crazy. And imagine just seeing Mr. Satan and genuinely believing he's the savior.
Okay, it'd be worth for that. But like for the actual Dragon Ball fights, it's actually stated that it's too fast for the human eye to keep up with. So no,
Seth?
you can't see those fights.
Seth, I might have to change my answer.
What is it?
I don't think there is an existence greater than that of being Lightning McQueen in the Lego Incredibles game.
You know what? I want to be
Shrek from Shrek 2.
I want to be
I think that
Qui-Gon
might be-
in Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, so I can just infinite combo young Anakin.
I think that might be peak existence for me. I don't know.
Every time someone walks up to you and goes, "Are you happy?" You're like, "Yeah."
But my eyes are sending the message of please end me. Please end my suffering.
They're like, "Why are you sad?" And you're like, "I'm a perfect zero for a car." All right, I reckon that's where we wrap it up. Oh wait, what if we existed in the All-Star Brawl universe?
I didn't want to say it. I thought about that like 5 minutes ago, and I didn't want to bring it up.
Yeah.
Well, Babylon's fault. There's just no one there.
That'd be kind of lit, though.
It would be. I will
Let's
admit.
fight somewhere empty.
You go to Elden Ring and you just like curse to fight these bosses.
You go to Elden Ring and you make it your life's mission to 1, touch grass, 2, get maidens.
You literally like start the game. You're like, I'm in a whole new world, and that guy comes up on the horse and he's like, not for long.
No, you walk out the door as someone calls you maiden. It's like, not here too.
Yeah. No, I thought something might change. It's the whole reason I left my last world.
I also thought about just tossing
Willingly
in the meme
isekai.
answer of, I thought about tossing in the meme answer of Hooked on You, even though it's not out yet, just because I think that'd be kind of funny.
Patrick, Infamous.
Yeah.
Being in the Infamous world as a conduit.
Okay. I thought you just meant like as any one of the millions of civilians I killed on my bad playthrough.
Where you're there you were in the Empire City Blast for Cole to eat.
Yeah. Consume.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure my answer should still remain as Lightning McQueen from the Lego Incredibles game.
I like that you had a really cool answer with sport, and then you're like, no, I'm gonna mess it up so hard.
Hey, sometimes when life gives you lemons, you gotta ka-chow, you know what I'm saying?
I knew you were
Anyway.
gonna say ka-chow, and it still hurt me.
Thank you for that question, John Halo. I hope that answers your question, and I'm sorry that no one wants to live in the Halo universe, but that's kind of your own fault, I'll be honest.
Yeah, you
Blame
kind of kill
Cortana.
everyone. In Cortana. I live in there for Cortana.
Simp.
But if you or someone that you know has a question that you would like us to answer on here, feel free to get in touch. We are on Twitter at Fast Travel Lounge -1 of the L's, on Facebook at Fast Travel Lounge, or on good old-fashioned Gmail mailbag, fasttravellounge@gmail.com. If you've enjoyed what you've listened to, feel free to like, rate, comment, subscribe, follow, review, share, all of that. With someone you know, someone you don't, who knows. Help us deliver better content to you. But that brings us to the end of episode 24 for this week. Next week, Last of Us Part 2 discussion, maybe finally, question mark?
Absolutely not.
You just refuse at this point? You're going to start playing it, Seth?
I'm just gonna make sure it doesn't happen.
What might we actually look forward to?
I'm not sure,
Ace Attorney
actually. Ace Attorney 3, hopefully.
Josh, what about you?
Besides that, I don't know what else I'd have on my plate.
I've yet to decide if I'm gonna let peer pressure make me finish Uncharted 2, or if I'll start playing something else. I don't know yet. What about you, Patrick?
Fair enough. I still have a bit more to finish off in Sunbreak, but I keep saying that. A bit more to finish off in Rise to prepare for Sunbreak. Should I finish that, I have a fat stack of games that I need to start, or Elden Ring to continue with. I might pick something new, just that way I can spice up what I'm talking about, and it's not the same stuff every week, but I will have to wait and see. And hopefully Steve will be back with us no matter how many times people tried to channel his absolutely aggressive, that's not the right word. Try to channel his spirit,
well,
like in the
I mean,
aggressive, we
if you
hate
keep
it kind of
thinking
way.
about it staying up all night, eventually it'll dawn on you.
Oh, sorry.
That was also another Last of Us joke.
I'm just getting word now. He left us earlier to go to the footy game. He's just been tackled by Scobo.
That's excellent.
Hopefully he tried to shill Fast Travel Lounge when all the reporters were asking if he was okay. Anyway, as I said, that does bring us to the end of episode 24 for this week. I have been Patrick. I have been joined by Seth and Josh, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Ka-chow.